Welcome back to the Yins Betcha podcast. Another week of amazing football everywhere. We got playoffs starting for both. We're into the Final Four now for college football. We are into playoffs now for the NFL. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into the Vikings today. We're going to get into the Steel. Well, we already got into the Steelers, I guess. Not ready for that, but it's going to be a great show, action-packed show. We have some callers today. They're calling to the show. We're going to call them. They're going to give us some of their takes on what's next for college football for their teams. We have one person for each individual team, so it's going to be an action-packed show.
Yeah, I guess that's the one. I complained that the four teams were left were the four teams I hated the most because they're some of the blue bloods of college football. And with that, because they're popular teams, you're more than likely going to know fans of those teams.
Yes.
So I guess that's the one good thing. Obviously, we're local to Ohio State. Notre Dame's a pretty national team.
Yeah.
Penn State's relatively local to us as well. So, yeah, it really works out that the four teams that are left, there's plenty of people to choose from for those teams to get some perspective from actual fans. I'm pretty sure all four of them are probably going to pick their own teams to go the whole way.
I would hope.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, if they're realists, like maybe they'll say, no, we've peaked, or we'll find out what happens. But I have a feeling all four are going to pick their teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be cool. I know we're going to start with that.
Mm-hmm.
We are broadcasting tonight during probably the biggest NBA game of the season.
I know, to this date, yeah.
I got the Thunder at Cleveland. Cavs are at home.
Cavs are at home. Cavs are at home. Two of the best teams in the NBA right now. You can't ask for a better regular season game at this point in the year. Two younger teams as well. This is going to be a great one too.
I'm going to see them in person on MLK Day on the 20th.
Oh, that's good. Those are always a great day to go. It's an action-packed day on those Monday, so it's always a good day to go to the NBA and watch them in person. Even better.
I got myself a throwback Kevin Love jersey.
Nice.
The gold with the red lettering. So I'm excited to wear it.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have any Cavs gear at all. Like you talked about, I'm not a huge NBA guy.
Yeah.
Had I not picked that up, I might have opted for my Kevin Durant Supersonics jersey.
Oh man.
Because they're playing the Suns.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's playing. I didn't look to see if they were playing. I think I did look actually.
You did see it?
Both teams do not play on Sunday, so I'm hoping that they're both. I know the whole load management shit with the NBA. You always get scared that are you going to see who you're going to go see, and they don't play Sunday. They don't play Tuesday, so I'm hoping. Since there's no back-to-back for either team, that I'm going to see, hopefully, the full squats on both sides.
Nice.
So you want a quick pick for tonight?
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'm probably just gonna take the Cavs tonight.
Homer.
I know. We're just so hot. This ball movement is just insane. It's so quick. This offense is running so smooth and it's so fast, and it's just awesome to watch. But Shea is that guy. SGA, man, he's awesome. So I'm gonna go with the Cavs. I'm hoping we can pull it out.
Okay.
Show us that we're probably the best team.
I don't know. We'll probably be off the air depending on how long these calls take. We'll probably be off the air when this game's over.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll have an idea who's gonna win by the end of it. I'm gonna go with the Thunder. They were my preseason pick to win it all.
To win it all.
Now the season's playing out, I'm a little scared that Boston could go back to back. Hasn't happened for a while in the NBA. But, I still I think the Thunder is going to be the team out of the West. So I'll pick them. I mean, if they win this game tonight, they'll actually both have the same record at 31-5.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like
you're crazy.
There's a storyline for it.
Yeah.
So they're on the road, but I'll take them. And I don't even know what the line is. I don't know if you do.
I actually didn't even pull it up. I can check. Let me check because that's a good inclination here.
It's got to be close. I mean, it's close to a pick'em game or something.
1 second.
But we'll find out if Vegas knows something we don't.
I know. Scores. Whose line is it anyways? Cleveland minus 2.5. So the home team. Home.
Is it kind of like the NFL?
It works that way.
Do they give you 3 points because you?
It's. I think I don't know if it is 3 or if it's like 2.5 or 2 or whatever. But I know it works in that favor for it being home. So it looks pretty even.
Pretty close to a pick'em game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, I know we got some of the guys that we're calling tonight are on a time constraint a little bit. So let's jump into that. Once we talk to all four of them, that we'll give our picks for the playoff. Maybe take a quick break and then we'll get into the NFL. So
nice.
Without further ado, we're going to call Donte first. This is the resident Notre Dame fan for the show.
Let's go.
He's also a fellow Viking fan, so I may have to throw that into him as well.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get him on the line here.
Yo,
what up? Are you driving or something?
Am I getting feedback?
A little bit. That was a little better, though. You sounded
Yeah.
a little farther away when we first got you on. But
I threw my headphones in, so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I can pop them off if this might sound great.
That's up to Tyler. What do you think? Does he sound good enough?
No, it's good. Yeah,
All
we're
right.
good. We can roll. Yeah,
We can roll.
we
with
can
it.
roll.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. We already let the audience know you're the resident Notre Dame fan here.
Yeah.
I've been giving you shit all year about your only loss being in Northern Illinois. But hey, man, you're still playing. You're playing well. You've been not only just winning games, you're kicking people's asses.
Yeah, you're doing it well.
And you did it without having this dude on the sideline, giving us signals on.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez, not one of them.
You gotta
I didn't
throw
know
the-
you was one of them.
Right, yeah.
Aw.
It's not just the Ohio State fans.
Man.
Wow. Well, no matter what, whoever wins it all, they're going to be the first team in, 6-7 years that did not go undefeated and win the national championship?
Yeah.
So that's...
And whoever wins is going to be a first-time head coach. So we got
all four of them.
Yeah, that's
First
true.
time.
That's true. So basically, we're going to kind of tee this up for you. We're pretty confident that all four of you are probably going to pick your teams to win, not only this game, but probably the whole thing. But give me a little bit of feedback on why you believe your team is going to win against Penn State tomorrow night. What's got to happen for Notre Dame to pull off the victory?
So I haven't watched a ton of Penn State, but from what I have seen, these two teams are eerily similar, where they run the ball and they win by good defense. So the deciding factor from what I see is going to be the line of scrimmage, both sides. So I feel confident in Notre Dame's O-line, especially with Carter being dinged up on Penn State's side, that we can run the ball. Now, my concern is Jeremiah Love is nicked up, and I mean, he's going to give it a go, so that's great, but I don't know how healthy he's going to be. We got Javarion Price. We have Elias Williams that will come in. He's usually the third down back, but he'll probably get more touches. He'll get more run tomorrow. So that's a little bit concerning. But dude, the biggest thing in Notre Dame's corner is right planner. That is why they win football games, because that kid refuses to let Notre Dame lose.
Yeah.
He averages 7 yards a clip whenever he takes off. So don't expect. I don't know what the gambling sites look like, but if it's anything over 200 yards for his passing game, bet under, because he's not hitting that.
Okay.
All right.
If they have over 400 yards of total offense, it's a guaranteed Notre Dame win, but I don't foresee that happening either.
Okay. What is the Tyler? Give us what the line and the under on the
it's
game.
Notre Dame -1.5. The total is 45.5.
45.
Yeah, I'm on that line because I think it's going to be a tight game, but I expect they're going to win by 2.
Okay. Yeah.
And do you like the under?
I do like Notre Dame to win, but it's going to be super tight. It's going to probably be a 2017 game.
Okay. So you like the under?
Defense is what's going to carry Notre Dame. That's what's carried them all season.
Right. That's what I've been impressed with for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's crazy is they lost Benjamin Morrison, who's their best cover corner, the second game of the season. But Al Golden he doesn't care. He throws freshmen out there on an island, and we're going to be man-on-man the majority of the game. So they play cover one like crazy. And the goal of Notre Dame is we want you in 3rd and long, and we're sending the house at you, and we're leaving our corners on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be what they do, and I guarantee they're going to at least pick off Al one time. I guarantee that will happen tomorrow.
Okay.
Xavier, the tight end, I forget what the kid's name is from Penn State, but that kid is
Tyler
Warren.
Yeah. Tyler Warren's sick.
Yeah. he's going to be a nightmare. But
he might be the best pro on the field tomorrow night. He might be the best pro prospect that's going to be on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be the X factor a little bit, but
yeah. Xavier Watts is our All-American safety that plays out of his mind. He's like the Troy Polamalu back there that just surveys the field, and he'll sprint to there's no miss in his game. He's just he gets down in almost like a sprinter stance and just takes off. He's either missing or he's lighting you up. One or the other. It's not there's not a happy medium there. So it's gonna be tough, man. Schuler will probably be who covers the tight end. He's the other safety. I would expect they'll probably send him on him. But we'll see. What happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited though.
Yeah. Well, I think you may have already kind of answered it with some of your analysis there, but so if Notre Dame does not pull it off, what do you think would be one of the biggest reasons they don't win tomorrow?
The only way I see them losing tomorrow is if they lose the tournament now.
Okay. Like significantly, like by more than 2? I mean, because you kind of thought.
If they have, let's say they turn the ball over 3 times, and Penn State does once, I expect us to lose.
Okay.
But we don't turn the ball over. So if that happened, I would be extremely surprised.
Sure. Okay. So, assuming Notre Dame does pull it off tomorrow night, who do you want to play for the national title? What would be your preference? Whether it's a revenge thing or just what team you want to play, or what team do you think you're going to end up playing? Whatever that reasoning is, just who would you rather play at the time?
I think we're going to end up playing Ohio State. I would like to matchup-wise play Texas.
Okay.
Because I think we can match up and we can beat Texas. I don't think we can beat Ohio State. There's too much skill, and with how Bolton schemes up the defense, I don't think we can keep them in check. And if it gets high scoring, I don't like our chances to keep up with those guys.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But I'm guessing if you were guaranteed the national title, you would rather beat Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Would that be a sweeter victory?
I really like your chances with Ohio State.
Yeah. That's the one factor for me. I wonder, how much. You'd have to tell me how much of that team is left from that year. I mean, obviously, the hate for Ryan Day grew not only for Michigan fans, but I feel like the country after he calls out Lou Holtz and gets all butthurt that his team is considered soft, which they are, by the way, because they lost to a 5-loss Michigan team trying to run the football down our throat, which doesn't work. So just embrace who you are. Like if you're a soft finesse team, who gives a shit? You might be the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
Just go win a damn title, and that's what he's doing now in the playoffs. He's. They're going with what works for them, which I don't know why they didn't do that against us, but I'm glad he did. So
that's what's made this Notre Dame team so successful. Is they've embraced who they are.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard cannot throw the deep ball, so do not expect anything going over 30 yards. Like it's going to be in the 5 to 15 yard range. Little dumps, little screens. Their best receiver is Jordan Faison, who's a walk-on. Who was a lacrosse player. He's their best wide receiver right now. They got Bo Collins, the transfer from Clemson, who, if he gets going early, great, but he can also be stone hands. So he's one of the most talented, but I don't.
Yep, I get it. All right, well, we'll leave you with this. I think you kind of gave me a prediction for final score. You said 20-17, Notre Dame. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Obviously, before we called you, I let the audience know that you are also a fellow Minnesota Viking fan, like myself. So, got any last words about the Vikings and our prospects against the Rams Monday night? You weren't prepared for that one.
Hopefully, Darnold can actually hit our players and not throw them 5 feet.
Yeah, he was visibly nervous in that game, so hopefully he got the jitters out of the way. I don't know, because it's obviously I mean, we're in the playoffs now. Now it's do or die. So the pressure of the game is not going to get any lighter than what was happening on Sunday night. So, do you have a quick?
I like the matchup. I think we can. What I liked about this Vikings team is they started to pound the rock. Like, we've been such a soft finesse team all those years with Kirk.
Yep.
With Aaron Jones, they started to pound the rock a little bit and become a little more physical. Now they need to actually do that in a playoff game and maybe work the clock a little bit so B-Flow's just blitzing. He's going to blitz regardless, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Do you have a Super Bowl pick in mind?
You know what? I haven't really thought about it yet. I think it'll be one of the AFC teams, either the Chiefs again or the Bills would be my prediction. And then I'm not sure in the NFC, especially if Hurts is nicked up. I can see the Eagles getting bounced early.
Yeah, Hurts is a question mark for sure.
The Lions for an NFC title match for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm betting on. So, all right. Well, we appreciate your time, Donte. I've already alluded to you. My hatred for Penn State and everything that's happened in that program, not even football related. So I guess I'm rooting for the Irish tomorrow night. I just don't have very many choices in this 14 playoff. I don't like any of the teams.
It has to be like
so,
the Irish.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Notre Dame tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So it'll be TBD on what happens in the title game. But if they're playing Ohio State, I got you the whole way.
Yeah.
So.
I like it.
All right. All right, well, I appreciate you. If they win, we may have you back next week. Or if they lose, I don't know, maybe call.
Yeah.
We'll go from there. So, all right, man, well, I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on, boys. Enjoy the night.
All right, man, you
Thanks,
too.
Donte.
Great. I like that. It was a great insight there. I will say what he said about Ohio State. I know he doesn't want to play them. I actually kind of
like the matchup.
I actually kind of do.
I kind of agree with him though. To me,
I wouldn't want to play Ohio State. I would rather play Texas. Yes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be. I know it's a whole different Ohio State team than when they play them during the year. But Penn State's defense is solid. Yeah. I really think that they're better defense than Oregon, even though Oregon threw against them in the Big Ten game. But I think James Franklin's really throwing them around and putting them in a good spot.
All week I kept thinking, this is the best chance for Ohio State to lose Texas because of the talent.
Yeah.
But when you look on the other end, maybe the teams are weaker on paper than Texas, but both of them have revenge factor.
Yes.
Penn State hasn't beaten Ohio State for a while.
Right.
And then that's going to be their second crack at them this year. And I read, we were tailgating during that game, but I did rewatch some of that game. There were opportunities there. I mean, Penn State, kind of like the Vikings on Sunday night, they had the ball inside the 5 yard line. Yeah. 2 different times. They didn't score.
And the one time, the second time they were down there, if they would have scored, it would have been a whole different game.
A whole different game. Yeah. It really just one of those times. I mean, they threw the pick.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
They threw the pick right before halftime.
Yeah.
And then the second half stop where all 4 plays were just terrible. I mean, it throws the end zone.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like they played them pretty damn tough.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm looking at right now.
And then Notre Dame, did they have the revenge factor from the year earlier when he called out Lou Holtz? So I don't know. I'm actually starting to think that those matchups might end up being harder, and it's not a guarantee that Ohio State gets there and they wrap it up.
That's what I completely agree with you because I think Texas is probably the best on paper, but I do think that the other two on the bottom can give them such a run for their money, and I think that's what they're going to do. And I also want to say, to Donte's point, the Irish look great. Marcus, this is a great coach. This is a great coach team. It looks like all these coordinators want to help each coordinator on the other side of the ball. So it's all around. I think it's going to be a great game for that. And then I think leading into the national championship, both sides, Penn State and Notre Dame, are both coached very well at this point. And man, what an opportunity for James Franklin. This is a whole different world for him now, where he's showing us he's winning. I mean, no, it wasn't the strongest road to get there, to get where he is now, but still. So
all right, let's go ahead and get we'll get my brother Shawn back on the line. We had him on several weeks ago to get the Penn State perspective, and that would wrap up that semifinal. So let's see if we get him over under cuss words on this phone call. Is there a number out there?
What are we doing? 5-10 minutes? 8?
I'm going over this. Going way over. Hey, Shawn. Welcome.
What's up?
Welcome back to the Ian's Betcha podcast. Thanks for coming on with us. We just talked to your opponent's team for tomorrow, Notre Dame. Got the perspective there.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're calling to get the Penn State Nittany Lion perspective. You excited? How nervous are you for tomorrow night? Is it better that we called you tonight and not 10 minutes before kickoff?
Yeah.
No, I actually feel good about it. After watching the game against Notre Dame and Georgia, I watched the first half of the game. I'm thinking, I was texting my brother-in-law, he's a Notre Dame fan. I was like, we got this. I'll play the team.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Impressed me. I mean,
we do. Hey, real quick though, we got to let the audience know that your wife is a Notre Dame fan.
Oh,
so,
man, what a rivalry.
Yeah.
Ohio State.
She's Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Okay.
She is both sides. So you might, you got a shot at knocking them both off to win a title. I mean, how sweet would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big fat fucking boner right there. But,
Oh.
I feel confident. I really do. I mean, I do believe that we've got a better quarterback, hands down.
Drew is great.
Notre Dame secondary, Al's going to be smaller the ball because they're going to really be on Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do like everything about what Penn State. I think we're a little bit more than they got.
Okay. So what do you think the biggest key to victory is? Mm-hmm. Is it protecting the football or getting after Leonard?
It's turnovers. It's going to be Aller's got to be smart the ball.
Okay.
He's up and down all the time.
Completely agree.
I love the kid, but he pisses me off half the time.
Yep. Yeah, he looked a little shaky out of that.
He's got
the
SMU
game.
Get the ball downfield. Problem is Notre Dame, their secondary, their DBs are awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He's gonna be smart. You use Tyler Henry, they're definitely gonna be doubling him up, I think, because he's our biggest weapon we got.
Yep.
And Abdul, on defense, they say he's banged up. Dude, this is the biggest game of his career, so he's gonna show up. Yeah. I really do. I do believe that in the trenches, I think both offensive and defensive lines are great. But it's going to be, we can't turn the ball over, and I mean that's the biggest key.
So that's probably on the flip side. You're saying if you do turn the ball over, that's probably going to be the recipe for losing the game, correct?
100%.
Yep.
We turn the ball over, we're out. Because Penn State's always a slow start team. First quarter, second quarter, we kind of think. It takes them, I don't know why it takes them so long to figure it out. But when they figure it out, they're good.
Yeah.
But
you just can't get in the hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you think with Genty running the ball, they figured it out fairly quick.
Yep.
And they've been great in both of their playoff games. I'm not as nervous as I thought I'd be. I think we had probably the easiest path that any team had.
Yeah, I kind of gave you shit for that. I was like, okay, you beat SMU, you beat Boise. Who you got next? Marshall? Like,
yeah. I think we did have the easiest path. I mean, but yeah, Jay.
And we talked about that at the very beginning of the playoff.
Get this guy. He gets open, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But they showed up, and they probably played their best two games of the entire season in the playoffs.
Okay.
So I feel good about it.
Yep. So I think I know the answer to this one. So assuming Penn State does win tomorrow night, who do you want to play for the national title? And who do you think you'll play?
In all honesty, I'd like to play Texas.
Okay.
Because I don't think they were that great.
No.
So you feel like you're saying that because you feel like that would be the easiest path to victory is beating Texas.
Definitely.
Okay.
But I do want to play Ohio State. I mean, I think if we're going to be champions, I want to beat the team that's beat our ass for 8-9 years straight.
Yeah.
I mean, we beat them once every 10, 12 years. That's the matchup I'd love to see. But I think the easiest path would be through Texas. I think Penn State would definitely be way better matchup against Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
I do want the Ohio State matchup just for, I'll probably be heartbroken no matter what. Even if we do win, if we play Ohio State, I'll just be devastated because I fucking hate that team.
We're with you.
Yeah.
So the line is Notre Dame is favored by 2.5. Over under is what did you say, Tyler? 45.
45.5. It's 1.5 right now.
Oh, it's 1.5.
Yeah.
Sorry, Notre Dame favored by 1.5. Over under is 45.5. What do you have for a final score?
Penn State 31, Notre Dame 24.
All right,
Wow.
so going
Touchdown.
okay.
All right.
So 31-24 Penn State. All right. Donte had 20-17 Notre Dame. He has the under. Obviously, like we said, we're not going to be surprised if all four of you today pick your teams. I mean, as you should.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to pick my team. Yeah, I feel really good about it.
All right, we're writing all four of these scores down. Kind of compare them and see what happens. We're thinking about having all four of you back next week, win or lose. Obviously, that'll be up to you guys. If you lose and don't want to talk about it, we totally understand.
Yeah.
But if you want to rant and rave about what happened during the game, we may have all four of you back next week. We'll keep you updated on that. So we'll leave you out with this. I know it's not college related. Who's your Super Bowl pick for Super Bowl 59 New Orleans?
I'll tell you what. I really do want to see Minnesota and Buffalo.
Battle of the Yellow Forest.
Oh man,
that's my pick. Do I think that's who I want to see?
That's who you want to see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do think Detroit might be the hang up for them. I couldn't believe when I watched the Detroit Minnesota game. I'm like, what was the offensive line not giving any? I mean, not saying he's overthrowing everything.
Oh no, he overthrew everything. I mean, I was making a joke that I was sitting in row 8. I'm like, I'm about to catch a pass.
No, you're not. I mean, but I think it was the pressure. I think if they figure that out, I think Minnesota can get over that hump and make it to the Super Bowl. I would love to see it, not only for you, just because it's a thing. But you guys got to get Minnesota's got to get through, Los Angeles, and maybe the smoke and the fire out there might help them out.
Yeah.
They may have to wear masks and.
Well, they may move the game. I mean, that's that's the rumor going around now. Is that they may have to move that game. Which that might be the one stadium where I don't even think home field matters because half the people in LA don't go to these fucking games anyway.
Yeah,
so
really.
it's going to be a 50-50 fan matchup anyway.
Yeah.
They already said it's going to be if it's there, it's going to be a Minnesota home game.
Yeah. I almost think if they move it, it might actually benefit the Rams.
Yeah.
Because you're going to fuck all these Viking fans up trying to make arrangements to travel, and I feel like there's more Rams fans across the country than there are in LA. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to be that huge of a factor. So
some kind of sense, Minnesota Bills, or Detroit Bills.
Okay.
The thing is going to come down to the Vikings.
Good storylines for both.
Oh yeah.
Detroit game.
Yeah.
I think the Bills are going to go on that side.
Okay.
Fuck Kansas City. I don't think they ain't shit.
I think they're going to regret
not
sitting
playing
everybody.
Yeah.
When they already had the bye. I mean, that's look what just happened in college football, right? All four teams that had these byes were out, and they all started slow. Like Oregon got completely boat raced.
They were never impressive. I mean.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't a great team.
They're not dominant.
Yeah.
Detroit's dominant. I mean, hands down. Kansas City's just like, I don't know how they're winning, but they were winning.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. It's a W. But they're definitely not going to 3-peat. No fucking way.
Man, I hope not. I'll stop watching if they do. I'm not watching anymore.
They're going to have a tough deal with Denver because I think Bo Nix and Peyton, they're hot.
Yep.
They're moving in there. And that's going to be a tough game for them, but I think Buffalo comes out with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buffalo wins the AFC. But, it's going to be Minnesota or Detroit.
Okay.
I hope Minnesota for yourself, but I'd love to see it.
I'm actually starting to think it could be the NFC Championship game, but we'll make our picks week by week here. So, all right. Well, I appreciate Shawn. Good luck to your Knitting Lions tomorrow. I'm gonna give you shit up until the game. I'm gonna leave you alone after that. So
I'll tell you what.
I know how nerve-wracking it is.
Like when I first a Thursday night, I'm like, really? I gotta work Friday morning, get up at 4 o'clock.
I know.
I just have to get like 3 hours of sleep and go, totally loaded and go to work.
I don't get it. I don't know why can't you just go? Of course, I mean the NFL has done Saturday wildcard games for years, so trying to compete with that, I get it. But college football is Saturday. Like why?
Right.
And you know what? If you want to do Friday, fine. But they should have did Friday, Saturday. That's my opinion. Because you already put the national championship game on a Monday, as it is, which that's stupid.
You're
so
games I want to watch on days I gotta get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And they're catering to the West Coast. I'm like, you motherfuckers, I'm Central Time. I get it, but
there ain't no West Coast teams in it. It's all Midwest. Yeah.
These teams are, East Coast, West or Central Time teams. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me on a work night?
Yeah.
Come on now. You want ratings? Put them on a fucking weekend. That's where you're
yeah.
You're not gonna get ratings on fucking people that get at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, I get it.
I'm gonna sacrifice my body, drink too much, and hopefully eventually win.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, y'all.
Thanks, Shawn.
Hey, let's get after it.
Yeah.
All right, love you, bro.
All right, love you.
See you, man.
All right. Well, I think it was going under on the 8 swear words until the last.
I know, really, the last 2 in a row, right back to back. I'm like, that was it. That was it.
I stopped keeping track. Anybody listening out there, let us know if the over under hit on that. I did say I was going to write these scores down. I actually didn't. So
2017.
I'm going to do that right now before we call Jamal. So we got 2017 Notre Dame, and we've got Shawn at 31-24.
31-24.
Penn State. So, what's going on with Thunder Cavs game right now?
Yeah,
Cavs started out pretty hot, a couple threes to start the game.
Yeah, now we're
Thunder battle back in.
Yeah.
You got the lead now? I know they went to commercial.
Yeah, Thunder does have the lead. Yes. It's gonna be a long game tonight for this one to get this win. But I wanted to say to Shawn's point, Drew Aller. Yeah. I think he only has like 7 interceptions on the year.
Yeah.
You can't throw one here. You can't. And I love both of these defenses. I'm taking the under on Thursday tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Even though it's low, I think that these 2 of these defenses are top tier. Top tier.
I'm with you.
So
Donte's score's pretty good. I'm like right around that 24-20 range.
Yeah.
That's somewhere where I'm thinking. I'm not going to reveal the pick just yet. We'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a colleague of ours from work on the line. So it'll be the first time caller in here. So Jamal, big Texas fan. We are going to get his perspective on the
Jamal Johnson.
Jamal Johnson. This is going to be gold.
The man himself.
I can't wait. So, all right, let's get him on the line here.
The man. Big Texas guy.
Oh, man.
Hello?
Jamal, what's going on?
Jamal.
Hey, what's happening, boys?
What up?
How's it going?
It's going great. Welcome to the Yins Betcha podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
That's right, baby. Your Texas Longhorns
The Longhorns
are playing our most hated rival, the Ohio State Buckeyes, Friday night. How you feeling about that? You ready to talk some shit? You ready to talk shit to Betchman and Kajala?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I do want to say this. I do hate to say this about the Ohio State Buckeyes. They're
You gotta say it.
right now.
They're hot, yeah.
It is a bad time. I think what Michigan did to them, they woke up like a sleeping giant.
So you're mad at me and Tyler, really? You're mad at us?
Yeah, right.
I'm really pissed off at you and Tyler for what you guys woke up with the Buckeyes right now. But I would say this, that, hey, Texas, they're going to come to play. Hey, that defense is going to show out and hopefully make it a close game. And you know me, I really think that Texas ends up winning it because the way that Ohio State's been playing, they're due for a slip up here.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yep. I'm a little, I was on Texas. I don't know if you listened to any of our podcasts yet or not, but I picked Texas at the beginning to go all the way. I actually had them rematching with Georgia for a third time. Third time's a charm, but that obviously is not going to happen now. But I'm going to stick with my pick. I am scared of the way Ohio State's playing, but I'm going to stick with Texas. I'm going to ride with them. So what do you think the keys to victory are going to be? Like, what does Texas need to do to secure victory on Friday night?
I mean, what it is really going to come down to is going to be able to control the line of scrimmage. I think if Texas's D-line, which is very, very good, can get to Ohio State, create Will Howard to make some quick decisions and, make them scramble a little bit, I think that helps Texas out a lot because the way that, you watch that Oregon game and how Will Howard just was, throwing it everywhere to Jeremiah Smith, Abuka, and those guys were running wild and with no pressure. So I really think that's the key. And then on offense, it's like we got to give Quinn Ewers some time. I think Ohio State's D-line is very good, and they've been playing good So we're going to need to give him some time, and we're going to have to be able to run the ball to slow down that Ohio State offense.
Keep off the field.
You see how Texas starts games, and this is I watched them a lot this year. They start fast. They know it's hard to figure out their offense because Sarkisian does a great job of motion, doing all this crazy stuff, but then they sputter out. And that's what happened with Arizona State.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were able to pull it out, but, they went for 3 quarters, after scoring 17 in the first, not scoring a point. So
right.
You can't do that against Ohio State.
No. And I was thinking that watching that game.
The front of the line, offensive line is the key.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what, that was my point going to be with Texas is watching the game. You're right. They came out guns blazing. I'm like, man, I love my pick. This team's going to do it. And then, they started choking that away. And I remember thinking, God, if Arizona State wins this game, for the love of God, please let Oregon win. Because I'm like, who the hell is going to beat Ohio State if Texas is not? Like, at least talent-wise, they match up with them. But, I was like, good Lord, if they get to play Arizona State, oh, my God,
And that's exactly right. Because, you think about how this playoffs was set up. And, you sit there and it's like the way that Arizona fought back and they did, and you kind of showed, okay, you know what? They had a great year. They deserved to be in the playoffs. At first I was like, and then what they were showing in the first quarter, I was like, oh man, here we go. Here's another team just because they only lost 1 game all year. They got in, and then it's going to be a lopsided. But they've showed a lot of fight and almost won that game. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad.
And Scadaboo's a stud.
Yeah.
I think if Texas can do what Michigan was able to do to Ohio State. Now, I do think Ohio State learned their lesson. Mm-hmm. I think they understand that they're a finesse team, and they got just unbelievable skill on the outside. And it's like, dude, we've got to use these guys in any way possible. And you saw that in the Oregon game, and it just blew up. Where hopefully Texas can talk Ohio State into saying, hey, let's play bully ball. Let's see who can run the ball better. Let's see who's better up front. Like let's do that, kind of what you saw in that Ohio State-Michigan game, where Ohio State got talked into saying, play us Michigan way, which is tough up front. We're going to run the football. We're going to be physical. And look what happens.
Yeah.
Then the game comes down to the wire, and guess what? You don't win. And that's what I'm hoping that Texas is able to do, just to slow down, Jeremiah Smith, Avuka, and all those crazy athletes. They got great running backs. So, so Ohio State spent $100 million on this team.
Yeah. Tell it straight, Jamal. Tell it straight.
You know what? They better fucking win, right?
Yeah. Right.
So if they don't win, what do you think some of the reasons will be why? Just not getting pressure on Howard? What do you think?
So if who doesn't win? If Texas doesn't win?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if Texas doesn't win, it's really going to come down to that. And it's going to come down to, okay, is there some turnovers, and were we not able to capitalize on them, or were we not able to do something offensively? And that's the thing, is just like, I really think if you just see the games that Texas have lost, which both were to Georgia, which is a very, very good football team.
Yeah.
But in those games, I would sit back and watch it. Texas was out physical.
Yeah.
In that game, by the front, offensive line and the D line. So they were just out physical, not manhandled in those games. So I really think if you can't do that, you're not going to beat Ohio State, because they just got so many guys already.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to, like I said, how Michigan played them and talked them into playing their game plan was insane to watch. And it was frustrating for all of us, because all of us freaking were betting and put a lot of money on Ohio State because they're a 3-touchdown favorite and things like that. And you sit there, and then you're like, in the fourth quarter, you're like, holy shit, Ohio State's going to lose this fucking game, because they're just getting out physical at this game that Michigan talked them into playing.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that it can go that way because Texas knows they got a tall task and they're going to have to score points. I mean, if you can get a lead, you're going to have to be able to continue to build on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we saw in that Oregon game, Ohio State can score 39 in a hurry.
Yes, they can.
So I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's the game of the weekend. I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's the
blockbuster
championship.
Yeah,
I really do. I think either one of these teams have the favorite of going in and winning the national championship.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that Penn State isn't playing well, but I and watching that Notre Dame team has been fun too as well. That's been a good team to watch and what they're able to do after losing to Northern Illinois. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So Tyler, what's the line on the game here?
Yeah, so Ohio State is favored -5.5. Total is 53.5.
53.5 over under. So what's your? I'm guessing you're picking Texas, right? Come on.
Yeah. I'm
All right.
Texas.
All right.
So give us a final score. I want to see if you like the over under on this.
Okay, the over under. I do truly think that it will be under because I think in games like this, teams are so good at their game plans and they do, but then it's these defense come ready to freaking play.
Yeah.
And they do. And I really think Texas wins this game 24-17. I really do. I think it's somewhere in between that range, and it's a little bit lower of a game, defense, and there's just some good offensive plays, but I would be very surprised
It's a shootout.
It's a 45-42 barn burner because Texas has a really good defense.
They do. They do.
They really, really do. And then Ohio State's defense has come on as late, and they've been playing very well.
Yeah, they're almost
almost
underrated in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they got talked about a lot at the beginning of the year, but they didn't have a lot of competition to go off of. But they're kind of like sneaky good. They get talked about with their offense. Deservingly so, but yeah, they do have a sneaky good defense.
Yeah.
So assuming that Texas does, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I said they have the defensive end, Sawyer, is that whatever his name is?
Mm-hmm.
He's like a TJ Watt.
He is. He's a stud.
Steelers guy. So watching him, he's a game wrecker. He plays hard, and they got another dude beside him who's very good. And then, Ohio State's always got DBs.
Yeah.
They always got good DBs. So what I'm saying is, Ohio State's defense, they're going to come to. But then Texas, you look at them. They got a lot of NFL players on that defense as well too. Some first rounders as well. So that's why I just think it's going to be a very good game, and it's going to, there's going to be some good offensive plays, but it's going to be a lot of good defense, just because teams get up for this,
That's right.
And I don't see a defense having a breakdown where it's, oh my gosh, 45-42. Those are games fun to watch, so I wouldn't mind it, but I'd be very surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So assuming Texas does win on Friday night, who do you want to play for the national title? Maybe you have a preference on who you want to play and who do you think you'll play.
I would say Notre Dame. I would really like to see that matchup. I really do. And to be honest with you, I just don't think Penn State can do it. I think the way that I saw Notre Dame go in there, and the way that Notre Dame has struggled in the past with SEC teams and just always getting manhandled by them, they actually look like they got some SEC players, and they look like a stud team.
Defense looks good.
I think that would just be a fun matchup. I'm about it. I think if Texas would play Penn State, I think it would be a really lopsided Texas win, probably.
Okay.
But with Notre Dame coming in, I really think we could all watch a really good football game in late January for the national championship and sit there and be like, shoot, we like it. I like it.
Are you gonna claim yourself an SEC guy already after 1 year?
No, man.
So I'm gonna sit here and say this.
You are the only one left. I will give you credit for that.
Especially you Big Ten guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for me not to really like the SEC, and I always have, because I think SEC has always had the best talent.
Sure.
Yeah.
I always think that, you know what I mean? And
completely dominate college basketball right now, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing was that Michigan team last year. You know, that Michigan team last year, I don't think anybody was beating them. I think they had
truly
just their twos were starters anywhere in the country. So I think what Michigan built last year, you know, that's why they could win and go in there and they can beat on anybody and they could compete and they would have went undefeated in the SEC as well. So I think Ohio State gets those teams as well. Michigan gets those teams in the Big Ten. And that's kind of like it for the most part. You know, now Oregon's in there and stuff, so it's going to be a little bit different. But even like Oregon, I think if Oregon was in the SEC, I don't think they go 13-0. Right. You know, I think the SEC's the closest thing to the NFL, in my opinion.
Sure.
I mean, it's so hard to really bet on and be like, oh my gosh, South Carolina's traveling to #1 Georgia, you know, and you're just like, then you turn it on and it's a 10-7 game in the fourth quarter and you're like, shit, South Carolina just beat them, knocked them off. So that's why I've always been a fan of the SEC, because I think they, throughout the college football season, they always have like the best games, and then you're also like, it's not lopsided. It's like, oh my God, Michigan has Rutgers this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, I'm claiming an SEC fan. You can claim me already.
That's all right. That's all right. So I'm gonna leave you with this. I know you're a Yinzer like Tyler over here.
Yeah.
What's your prospects for the Steelers' potential playoff run?
Ugh.
Or are there any prospects?
There's none.
You know what? I know how Tyler feels.
There's none.
He's walked the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to really change in a week, but let's be real here. Let's just think about it. This is probably one of the biggest rivalries in NFL. You know, AFC North. These battles go back forever, and they're so close, and they're so well coached and organized. I just don't see how Tomlin can really go out on a 0-5.
I can.
I really don't. It's just so hard for me. I'm not saying that, you know, it sucks having to pay Lamar Jackson and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, we give them fits. And if, you know, we lost to them, you know, it looked way worse than really what it was. I don't know if you actually watched the game. I'm sure Tyler did.
I did.
But back in that game in Baltimore where we lost 35-17 or 15 or whatever, we turned the ball over in the red zone as we were going in. Russ fumbled. Then Russ did a pick 6, right? And then we also had the ball, had an interception, and we couldn't do nothing offensively. And we didn't have our best offensive player, George Pickens, either. So you think about it. Let's say Russ doesn't throw pick 6 and we get a field goal or a touchdown. And then whenever Russ fumbled on the 1, let's say we turn that into a touchdown. I mean, this is a total different game. And then it comes down to, is Boswell going to make a kick or is Justin Tucker going to make a kick going in this game? And lately it's been Boswell making the kick.
Let the NFL score.
That's insane.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah. So, I'll be honest with you.
You like Pittsburgh's chances,
I put money on the Steelers money line.
Wow.
I'm taking it. I'm riding it.
Wow.
I don't see Mike Tomlin going out 0-5. I would be.
So who's your Super Bowl? Who's your Super Bowl 59 pick?
Oh yeah.
If you say the Steelers, I'm hanging up.
Well, I'm not saying Steelers Super Bowl.
Right. Just beating your rival.
I don't know if I'm going that far.
Yeah, me either.
Hell, why not? I think it's going to be a great year to cap off my great.
Your Texas national champion with the Steelers Super Bowl.
I think Texas national champs. I think Pittsburgh Steelers are going to make a run and shock everyone. They're going to.
Wow.
They just lost 4 straight. They're about to win 4 straight. And bring this shit home.
Right.
Wow.
Who are they beating in the Super Bowl? If you do say the Vikings, I am definitely hanging up.
Yeah, so they're sorry, it's not going to be the Vikings.
Okay.
And it's not going to be Detroit either.
Wow. Wow.
I truly think
It's the Eagles.
I think it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
I really do.
If everyone can get healthy, yeah.
So they got the Battle of Pennsylvania down at Mardi Gras.
Man.
But he's coming back.
That'd be cool.
This week.
He has not cleared concussion protocol yet, and I think that's huge.
It's weird too.
But I don't know.
It's been 2 weeks.
Love either.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Kind of. We're almost on too early to make our own.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, that obviously changes everything. I mean, if you're going in there with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
So,
really.
I mean, we lived with it, Tyler.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But then again, he hasn't looked too bad. But look what he has around him too.
Yeah.
Right.
That helps.
Right.
That helps everybody. I mean, you got the running back that just should have broke the all-time rushing record.
Yep.
And he jumps over people backwards.
I did.
2 stud receivers, and then that defensive line doesn't get enough credit. I mean, they got some freaks on that defensive line, and I'm like, this Eagles team is freaking stacked.
Yeah.
So I think they are the winners coming out of the NFC, my opinion.
Man, if he gets
if Hurts is playing, if Hurts isn't playing week 1, then that changes everything because now you're in the playoff game without your star quarterback, and it's hard to win without your star quarterback.
Yeah.
It just is in the playoffs. So,
boy, if he gets a Texas national championship and a Steelers Super Bowl within weeks,
man, I can't.
I'm coming to steal your underwear. Or something.
Yeah, we need something.
I know. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just really want the Steelers to get this win on Saturday.
That's all I want too.
I really do.
I want the first round. I've been saying it all year.
Just because there's a lot of yinzers out there that are stupid and thinks that we should trade or fire Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, forget him.
You guys are really stupid.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Who the fuck else out there could coach this team?
Yeah.
Because Andy Reid ain't leaving.
No.
Okay.
There's a rumor that the Vikings are going to trade.
Yeah, we could trade. We could trade for O'Connell.
No.
That's what we want.
We
want that.
Not available.
Yeah, and the Vikings ain't getting rid of Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah. I don't know.
You think of all those teams that are there. It's like, oh, you're going to hire someone that was fired, and they're going to replace the legendary Mike Tomlin. It's like, no. So there's the interest just because they get hyped on this playoffs, and I get it. We're the city of champions, and we really want to get back to it. But look at our fucking offense. We have 0 Pro Bowlers. 0.
Yeah. It ain't good.
Last time we had a Pro Bowler. I mean, you should look that up, Tyler, and really understand. When's the last time we had a Pro Bowler offensive player?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown?
Maybe.
Bell?
Yeah.
Yikes.
I don't know. So Mike Tomlin has been limping into the playoffs with the
every year too. Every year.
Offense.
Yeah.
And half of the time with Big Ben on his last year, we all saw his last 2 years what he was like. I mean, at that point, we were like, dude, you just need to quit playing because you're just hurting your career because it's just not good. And then we went in with Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and Mason Rudolph, and I mean, think about where all those guys are backups in the NFL. So that's what we had to go into the playoffs with, and we don't have a receiver besides George Pickens, and
he hasn't been doing good.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Those drops, dude. Yeah,
I don't want to hear about that.
He sucks.
Well, our college football playoff turned into Steelers Corner.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. That was good.
Exactly.
That was good.
All right, well, Jamal, we got one more phone call to make to round out our semifinal perspectives for each of the 4 teams. So we appreciate your time, and you know that me and Tyler are in your corner.
100%. 100%.
Hook 'em horns. Please bring it home Friday night. I don't give a shit if you win the national title. I want you to win this game Friday night.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes. Well, I appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me. I love what you guys are doing. Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.
Have a great night.
All right,
we'll
man,
see
you
Monday.
too. Yep.
All right, that was good.
Great
good.
insight there. Loved the Steelers corner at the end there. With Jamal, I completely agree with him here. I just and hopefully the Quinn Ewers experience can keep going because it's not been always that great.
Yeah. I wonder, Ohio State fans claimed Joe Burrow, because he was there for a cup of coffee. And when he won the national title, look. So I do wonder, if Quinn Ewers beats them, do they claim him?
Or
do
probably.
They mad at him?
That's how they do it. That's how it goes.
So that'll be definitely an interesting perspective there.
In Arlington too, it's going to be home game for Texas, and I think Texas just needs Ohio State to be highly favored again, and they want to run the ball, and Ryan Day can win however he wants. Yeah. They need that sort of game again. Or Ohio State needs to have that again in the playoffs, where they're highly favored, and they do. He does that. That's the only way I see them losing. So, but yeah. Great insight there.
Yep. Now I think did I see you on DraftKings when he said the Steelers were going all the way? Did you place that bet?
No. I did not. Some of the Steelers takes he has is different than mine, just a little bit. I'm almost there. I'm not all the way there.
And we'll get there. We'll make our NFL picks.
We'll get there.
Tonight.
We'll get there.
We got one more phone call to make, and then we'll probably take a quick break.
Yep.
We're going to call another Shawn Betchman. This is another guy that we work with. As an Ohio State fan, we tried to get Andrew Kajawa on, who was gracious enough to join us after Michigan won.
We're going to get him back on, especially if this game and he loses. Kajawa, we'll get Shawn. We'll get everyone back on.
Ohio State loses, we got to get back.
Everyone's back.
I'm pretty sure they all give a shit when Texas beat us to start the year. So
I think they did.
So let's get Betchman on the line.
Yeah.
Right? Coordinate this on text.
No, he may not.
Oh, we're leaving him on voicemail.
Yeah. We could be one of those cringy couples that used to live together back in the 2000s. Hey, this is Kevin. This is Kevin.
Really?
Man.
Oh, we're going to leave voicemail. All right, well, this is a good thing we're not live.
All good.
This is not, we can edit this out if we choose to.
I don't even want an Ohio State fan on here. I don't even want one. Yeah.
What's going on in the Thunder Cavs game here? I know they're a commercial.
Thunder is up. I think. Hang on. I think. What's the score? I just saw it. It's 49-48. We're down a point, so that's good. But yeah, so for Ohio State, just in case Shawn may not make it on, I'm
literally texting him and he's answering.
He's answering. We'll just keep texting him the questions then. We'll answer for him.
There you go. He's getting shy. He's getting shy.
Yeah.
To be on the air. I'm sure he'll call air anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I like all three of them so far have given me, and you know what, the common theme, which is, it's usually what I say, it's the go-to turnovers is the key. Is the key. It seems like, obviously in a perfect world, I always feel that way about my teams. I'm like, everything equal, I think we can win.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't turn out that way Sunday night though. We actually won the turnover battle by 2. But going for it on 4th down and not getting 4th down conversions, that is a turnover to me.
Yeah.
That may not count in the stat sheet that way, but it is. So that ended up being a pretty big factor on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I always feel that way too. I always feel that, hey, if we play a clean game, who can beat us?
Who can beat you? Yeah.
That's what the way with Michigan.
Yeah, so. And that's what it is with Ohio State too, for sure.
Yeah.
And I just think if they can get any sort of that's the only way they're going to lose is they overlook something. I told Andrew that too last week. I said if they overlook any of these games coming up, these last 2, if they win this one, the next one, you'll overlook anything. Of course, that's how everything goes, but especially in this atmosphere, this time. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting.
So 51-50 Thunder, 4 minutes to go in the half.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we take a quick break? We'll wait for Shawn to call us, and then once we get him on the phone, then we'll just kind of come back on the air with him.
Yeah, so. Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, we're back. We got Shawn on the phone. Shawn, thanks for joining us. We got Ohio State, Texas, your preview. First of all, how are you feeling about going into this game? I'll ask you that first.
I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I truly believe if Ohio State plays like they did against both Tennessee and Oregon, there isn't a team in the country that can beat them or keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
There might be fucking 2 or 3 teams in the NFL that they would beat.
Yeah.
Totally confident that they could keep doing that.
Yeah, for sure. It's truly it's been an interesting time. I think Michigan opened up a flame, and it's just been ever since just nonstop hitting everything that is coached upon these guys, and
Will Howard's throwing the ball downfield now, and everything's clicking. So it's crazy to watch, to be honest. So,
do you contribute or attribute to the fact that we woke up a giant here, like a sleeping giant? Do you
hate us, or I guess you would like us?
Yeah. Other people seem to hate Michigan right now for waking you guys up.
I mean, as a diehard Ohio State fan, obviously I don't like Michigan, but to be honest with you, I think that Michigan woke the coaching staff up in terms of realizing we can't just run the ball. We're a passing team that uses the run to support the pass, not the other way around. And I think that against Michigan, they were determined to beat you guys
a certain way,
a certain way, instead of just using their best weapons, right? I mean, Jeremiah Smith is by far the best weapon Ohio State has. So why didn't they use him more? And I feel like they have, again, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think Michigan woke them up in a sense, but as much as anything, I think they woke up the coaches with the game plan.
Yeah.
For sure.
Jeremiah Smith might be the most pro-ready person in college football, and he's a fucking freshman.
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting.
And he still has to do another 2 years, right? It's 3 years now.
I think it's 3.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told Kevin this last week, and on the show, I said, Jeremiah Smith may be the best wide receiver I've ever seen. That says a lot, especially. Yeah.
And then I had to remind him that he's like 24 years old and didn't get to see Randy Moss play college football.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point.
Granted, different competition, so I do give Smith the edge there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Moss was a freak and did it for 4 years. So, and I'm sure he will. Like, I'm not saying that. I don't think there's any signs that Jeremiah's going to digress over the years, barring injuries or anything like that. But if he's only going to get better, which is scary to think about. So what's the keys to victory for Ohio State? If Ohio State wins on Friday, and then you can fill in the blanks there.
Sure, I think they win on Friday if they continue to play the way that they have been with leveraging the pass game, using motion, and just using the explosiveness of the playmakers that they have. But then on top of that, if Will Howard can protect the ball, that is, if there's one thing about Texas that scares me more than anything, it's they have 2 of the best defensive backs in the country. In fact, they have the best defensive back in the country. And throughout the season, they picked quarterbacks off as good or better than anyone. And that frames me a little bit that Will Howard's going to throw some interceptions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you almost say that would be the key to a defeat would be, Howard displaying the ball all over the place and you guys trying to get back to, we're a physical team. And I mean, that's the thing. I think that's what Day still is so butthurt over the perception that Ohio State is soft. And even if I was a fan of them, I wouldn't give a shit if that's what teams thought if I'm winning natties, right? Like, if I'm a soft-ass finesse team, well, I'm the best soft-ass finesse team in the country. So, you know what I mean? Like, if it's not your strength, then why are you trying to play to it, So is that your key to, not winning the game, is turning the ball over and trying to run the football too much?
Well, not necessarily running the ball too much, because if they can get the run game going, I think that could be just as good. I mean, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins are great running backs.
Right.
I just think that the pass game is what they need to use as their primary, attack, and then use the run game kind of once they start opening up those run gaps from throwing the ball.
Yeah, because they were awfully predictable against us. I mean, it was
insane.
Run on first down, run on second down, throw on third down.
Yeah,
and they did it the entire game. So. And just never wavered from it for whatever reason. So glad they didn't.
Really.
But so assuming we're going to assume that you're picking Ohio State to win. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What's we got the over under on it is what'd you say? 50?
Oh yeah, so it is. So Ohio State is favored by 5.5, and then the over under is 53.5 as it stands right now.
So yeah, give us a final score so we see if you got them covering and if you got the over under on it.
Oh, my final score for the game: Ohio State 45, Texas 28.
Wow.
So you got a comfortably.
Wow.
So you got them covering and well over. So
yeah.
Okay. So assuming Ohio State does win on Friday, who do you want to play for the national title? And you can give us two answers. If you've got a prediction on who you think you'll play and who you want to play. And if it's the same answer, that's fine.
So there's two answers, to that really. There's who I want to play and who I'm the most concerned about playing. To be honest with you, I would rather play Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame would be a cakewalk to Ohio State. I really do.
Wow.
I don't think Notre Dame could compete with Ohio State. I don't think Notre Dame could compete with Texas, to be honest with you.
Okay. So you kind of feel this way. This is how I felt a week ago. Tyler and I have not given our predictions yet on tonight's show, but we're going to do that afterwards here. But I kind of felt that, when the semifinal matchup was made, that I was like, well, this is essentially the national championship game.
Yeah.
Ohio State Texas winner. Yeah. I feel like it's going to win it all. But
at the same time, if I were to give you my top two least favorite teams, it would be a 1A and 1B of it. Michigan would be 1A and Notre Dame would be 1B.
Okay.
So there's also some dislike of Notre Dame there too.
I can respect that. I mean, my four hated teams are 1, 2, 3, 4, the four fucking national semifinals.
Yeah.
So I'm so pissed about the first playoff coming down to these four blue bloods that I can't stand any of them. So this is really, really hard for me to root for anybody, honestly. I've got my picks. I've got my, as you said, 1A, 1B. I can rank them 1 through 4 pretty easily. So I do have who I want to win, but it's very, very begrudgingly, for sure. So so I definitely get that. So you feel Penn State is who you kind of want to play, just because
I would honestly rather play Notre Dame because I think it'll be an easier game for Ohio State.
Okay.
I don't really want to play Penn State because I think Penn State is going to be the hardest team for Ohio State to beat.
Just because of the factor of playing them a second time.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Oregon ran into, obviously, what you got.
And let's be honest, they could have very easily won that game, and they're up 14-0.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we talked about
that's what I said.
I think we talked about that before we called
tonight.
That I think there was opportunities there,
right,
for Penn State to have won that game. I rewatched that game because I was tailgating for our Michigan game that day, so I missed most of it. But I kind of rewatched it and was like, man, there was two different times inside the 5-yard line that they don't score, and you get any score there, that game may be completely different.
Yeah.
I thought the one fumble was probably an incomplete pass that they overturned. So I thought there was some calls and questionable decisions by Penn State that really cost them that game. And a lot of it really, it's almost the flip side of Michigan kind of being in Ryan Day's head and Day's coaching that way. I think Franklin does the same thing with Ohio State. I think they get in their own heads a little bit, and talent-wise, they can compete with them, but they just get in their own fucking way, and that's what I feel like Ohio State's done probably at least 2 out of the last 4 years with the losses. I think Michigan was not the better team on the field, but then the results didn't end up that way. So, all right. Anything else you got to add for any of the college football playoffs or?
No, the other piece is that I think with the Texas-Ohio State game, it's whoever wins the game or whoever loses the game, either way you want to look at it, there's a quick turnaround until we get to see a rematch, too.
Yeah.
Since they play the first game of the season next year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially the quarterback matchups for next year. Arch Manning is going to be there. It's just going to be a whole different world, especially in your guys' Will Howard's not going to be there. So you're right. It's going to be a quick turnaround. I think that's going to be a heck of a matchup after this is said and done too. So
is all forgiven if Ryan Day wins a national title with the recent form?
Do you still want him there?
Do you want him there? Is it title or bust for you? Are you part of the lunatic fringe here?
I will say that he's got to find a way to beat Michigan. If he can't beat Michigan, and national championships are a nice keep your job kind of thing.
Okay. I would hope.
I would admit after the Michigan game, I wanted him gone. Now, part of that is knowing that Mike Vrabel was sitting in Cleveland as a advisor to the Browns.
Yeah,
sure.
And now a lot of these NFL teams are coming around to pick him up, so he's going to be in the NFL at this point, especially now. So, I mean, it is a do-or-die time here at Fields, especially if you don't win this game. I think if you make it to the national championship, I think he stays.
So, yeah, and that sounds like what you're saying. But if I'm reading the tea leaves here, so if Ohio State wins the national title, which is very likely, I mean, they look like the best team in the playoff. So I feel like, yes, they're the betting favorite. And all things equal, as long as they don't stumble and turn the ball over all over the place, I feel like they should win it all. So
they need to not get cocky. I think that's what happened against Michigan, is they went into the Michigan game looking at it as, this is going to be a cakewalk.
Here comes the 100-burger. Yeah.
And that's what I said too. I said if Ohio State goes into a national championship game and they're highly favored and they're overlooking everything and they want to try and win the game however they want to win again, they're going to lose, especially the way they did against Michigan.
Yeah.
So
I want to ask this. Obviously, it sounds like you're over it, so to speak, if Ohio State wins it all. But if we fast forward to next November, and Ohio State's coming off defending national championship, and they lose to Michigan for a fifth time. Does Day make it back to the tunnel? Like, or is it? Well, we're still defending our national championship. Where are you at with that? Do you only give him one more year to beat Michigan, regardless of what he does in the playoffs?
If he keeps winning national championships, you can't fire him. I mean, how do you fire a national championship winning coach?
No, you don't.
And I do think that's the one factor that's playing into this playoff, which is. That's why last year meant so much to me. It's why I freaking defiled my body with a tattoo, because I'm like, that scenario of that game meaning what it did for both teams, and the fact that there was still a 14 playoff, the chance of going undefeated, all of that, all the noise with the sign stealing bullshit, all of that. I knew that was going to be peak way of winning the national title. And really, look, a year later, all 4 teams left have a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost, this is going to be the new norm. I do think that the precedent was set that getting a bye almost sucks. And I think the ticket's going to be that 5 to 8 seed. You kind of want to get in there. So I almost feel like every year the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game might actually be in a prime spot. I mean, look at Penn State's bracket, for God's sakes. I mean, they lose the Big Ten championship game, and they come out of the game playing fucking SMU and Boise State. I mean, it's just not murderer's row at all,
No, it's not.
So,
Oregon was the best team in the country, the only undefeated team in the playoffs, and they got the hardest game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
I'm glad that you see that. Big picture is national title. Like, at the end of the day, Ohio State can beat us every goddamn year. I don't care. But if that's one of our only losses or one of 2 losses, and we've got to play a shot to win the national title, and we do, I wouldn't give a shit if he beat us 10 straight years.
Yeah.
If we win 4 titles in that 10 years, I don't care. It's like the NFL, right? Like the Lions swept us this year, right? And what if we go and win the Super Bowl without playing them? I don't care that we got swept by them. If we win the damn Super Bowl, I don't give a shit. So it should be big picture. So I'm glad you're kind of realizing that. It sucks. I get it. It's the one. It made our season when our season sucked.
Yeah, made it better.
Like it does. The game matters. Don't get me wrong, but I would rather, be switching places with you right now. Like I would rather be on the 4-game losing streak, only win the Real Quest Bowl or whatever the hell we won, and having a shot at the national title. Like I would trade that every single year. So, yeah, be appreciative of what you got.
It's taken away from that game though. Like that game.
100%.
The biggest game of the year,
and now it's yeah. There's going to be a scenario someday where we probably play each other 3 times in a year. Like it's going to be harder because there's so many teams in the Big Ten. More than likely, the loser of our game will probably always fall to 3 or 4, just like Penn or Ohio State did this year. They lost that game to Michigan, and instead of still being in it, they lost out to Penn State because they had 2 losses. But not all things were equal. Penn State didn't have to play Oregon in the regular season.
Right.
So that's just the way it goes with the way the Big Ten is now. You can never compare schedules because some teams are going to have way harder ones than others, just like we did this year. We had to go at Illinois, at Indiana when they were turning it around. We had to freaking go to Washington, and it was the middle of the road, but it was a road game. Had Oregon come to our house, Texas came to our house, had to go to Columbus. I mean, just was a brutal schedule. And that's just what's going to happen sometimes. So we're going to leave you with this. No more college football talk. Who's your Super Bowl pick? Give us Super Bowl 59.
Super Bowl.
Who's meeting in New Orleans?
My Super Bowl picks. Who do I think will play? I think Kansas City will again find a way to make it to the Super Bowl.
Man.
I mean, hey, it's hard to bet against it.
It is. It is.
You got home field advantage. So, all right, so who you got out of the NFC?
On the NFC side, oh man, it's tough. It's tough to pick between Detroit and Minnesota. I want Minnesota. I want you guys to make it. I 100% will be cheering for the Vikings through
We
the
appreciate the love.
Yeah.
I mean,
we need it.
I've told Pat this a number of times. I've always liked the Vikings. Since back when Adrian Peterson was still there.
AP.
Yeah, AP.
What a dog. Yeah.
So I would say it's going to be between those two. I think it's really hard. It's really hard to beat a team twice in a year. I think it's even harder to beat them three times in a year. So I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I hope that we get that third matchup. So I'm going to stay away from the city, though. I'm done. I'm not
going back.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that kind of deal that I got from the ticket perspective. And it just wasn't. I mean, it was fun and it was loud. I mean, but it was not pleasant by the end of that game. So I don't want to relive it. And I'm a superstitious guy, so if we play him again in a couple weeks, I'm staying my ass at home and hope for the best. So, all right, Shawn, well, we appreciate your time. I'd like to say the same thing that I've said to the last three callers, which is good luck in your playoff game, but I'm not fucking doing it. Hook 'em horns, please, for the love of God. I want to savor the winning streak we have. I do not want to
give it to you.
Bequeath our national championship to you assholes. So, but you respect that. I'm going to say that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I do, even though I cheered for you guys last year. So.
Oh man.
Throw that on there.
Yeah.
There's a chance if you play Notre Dame, maybe.
Big Ten before anyone.
All right, Shawn. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for your time, dude.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you Monday.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
All right, cool.
Okay, we're back. We are now going to go into our picks for college football, and then we'll just pretty much roll right into NFL after that and talk about everything that went down week 18 and then go into first matchups for playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you what, after talking to all four, they gave me compelling reasons to pick all four.
I know, really.
Can I do that?
Each one of these games, each one of those opinions and takes were great. Definitely showing us a lot more diving into the actual game and who has who on whose side and stuff like that. But I guess we can start with the Thursday game first. Let it flow into. So Penn State, Notre Dame. We already talked about kind of the lines and everything, but Notre Dame is favored by 1.5.
That over under 45.5. That is right. I've been going back and forth on the winner. But the whole time I was thinking that 24-20 range. Donte kind of agreed with that, the 20-17 score. My brother went 31-24 Penn State.
Yeah.
I feel like if you get into the 30s with either of these teams, I almost feel like it's an overtime scenario or something. I do think it's going to, you can sell me on high 20s to win this game. I keep picking against Penn State. I know I do. I picked them against SMU. But I keep going against them, and it's working. So maybe for my brother's sake, that's a good thing. I've just been impressed with Notre Dame ever since they lost that.
Me too. Yeah,
they're not just winning games; they're
doing it.
Yeah, they're
well.
Yeah, they're doing it well. I mean, they're kicking people's asses. So I think Notre Dame's going to win the game. And I agree with most of the analysis from everybody was the same thing. Like if there's a lot of turnovers, that's going to happen. Those are hard things to predict. If Leonard throws a couple picks or comes out of the ball, Penn State's going to be opportunistic with that, and they easily can win that game. So I do think it's going to be a one-score game. I think Notre Dame does win. So I'll go 24-20 Irish.
All right, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, either one of these two teams here, they both play how they play, and they play when their offense scores, and then they can play back on their defense. They hold them in. That's what Notre Dame has been doing all year. And this coaching, like I said earlier in the show, is just been truly pinpoint on everything that these players are playing for, and each coordinator is helping each other with Notre Dame. I can't get enough of the Irish at this point. I just don't know, like injury wise, is Notre Dame good? Like, is everyone playing?
Dante was a little concerned with being banged up. I don't know much.
Tight end. I know. At this point, I heard. I don't know if it was for Notre Dame or Georgia. I was listening to a podcast earlier, but I was thinking that Notre Dame is a little banged up. So that's the only thing that kind of concerns me, especially with Penn State. And if Drew Allers makes a mistake. So I don't know. I'm on both sides here. This is the game I'm on both sides. Like the other game, I feel like I know. But at this point right now.
You know what? The thing that with the other thing that's impressing me in Notre Dame is the special teams play.
Yes.
In a game where it's going to be this close, I do think that becomes the X factor a little bit. Mm-hmm. They had some struggles with the kicking game earlier, and they kind of solved that. So I think there's the intangibles there. I do think Penn State has the best player on the field
for sure
for both teams with Tyler Warren.
That's what I think.
Pro prospect. And so if he gets going and has a monster game, could be a totally different story. I do like him for an anytime touchdown. And we can't.
Well, the only thing is we can't bet on players here in Ohio. Which is stupid.
Yeah, when I was down in Kentucky and Tennessee, my brothers, I was able to do that.
That's the best, man.
I missed a 6-leg parlay from one fucking thing. I had like 26 passing yards. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
And I had two anytime touchdowns in that game, or in that parlay, and I won. I'm so pissed.
Yeah.
So it's not as fun to bet it here, but any listeners that we have outside Ohio, good luck with that. I like it. I think it's probably
definitely.
Probably not going to be a lot of kickback on that. I'm sure it's like minus 110.
It'd be interesting to see how Warren gets covered. I think if it's double team, it's going to have a harder time to get down there. That's the only thing that's kind of scares me. If they're going to start doing that, I think Notre Dame can pull it out. But as it stands right now, I am going to take Penn State.
Okay.
I am. After everything, I like the Irish a lot. I just like Drew Allen a little bit more. If he doesn't make the mistakes, doesn't throw a single interception. If he throws one, I think they lose. But if he doesn't throw any, he makes right moves and throws. The only thing is like their wide receivers aren't as good as like everyone else in the country, right? Like it's a good wide receiver core, it's not elite, and that's what I think they're missing. But like you said, they already have Warren. So right now, I'm gonna take the Nittany Lions, and I think the rematch may happen.
You got a final score?
I think Penn State will win 23-17. 23-17.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going under too. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Texas and Ohio State. Again, good feedback from everybody. I picked Texas beginning of the playoff, as did you, I believe, right?
Yeah, I did. I do have Texas as my
Texas winning the whole thing. Yeah. I'm going to stick with it just because of that. I don't like the way that Ohio State's playing.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the way Texas finished against Arizona State. So Jamal had pointed that out, that it's kind of what Texas' MO has been.
Mm-hmm.
They come out guns blazing.
And then and
Ohio State has done that in their 2 playoff games. So I do think, they have to get out to that hot start.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot play from behind. I do think if they get out to a lead, maybe they get in Day's head a little bit. I do wonder about his coaching style when he's in panic mode, so to speak.
I know, yeah.
So maybe they can get him out of his game there. So I think it is important to do that. Texas is going to have to come up with some plays. They're going to have to outscore them.
Mm-hmm.
I like the over in it. Jamal was kind of against that, and I'm saying, 45-42.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be 30s for both teams. That 30-31 range, somewhere in there. So I'm going to stick with Texas.
Yeah.
Some of it is in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should pick them. Like every time every time I kept picking the Steelers.
Oh my God!
So if I really want them to lose, maybe I go against them. But I'm going to go Texas 38-34.
38-34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I know, just for the sake of the audience, we already went different the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit on here, so I know where you're going.
Yeah.
So just
so the only thing is I'll say about what Jamal pointed out, which I didn't point out earlier when he was off the phone, they do have a great offensive line. I think that's what won the 2 first games for Texas. They controlled the offense. They controlled the line. They did what they wanted to do, even though the Arizona State did come back in that second game, and Clemson did score. But I just think that with the defense, their defensive backs, I think if they can control the offensive line again, they have a hard task in front of them. And I think Ohio State is probably the best defense in the country right now. And they weren't, and now they are. And it sucks to be here, and they're playing that good. They're just preventing everything, and they can do that because of the players they have. So they're sitting in zone. So it's just going to be hard for Quinn Ewers. I'm going to take Ohio State.
Okay.
I don't want to. I hate it. But I think they're going to be national champion. It hurts me to say that. It really does.
All right. You got a score for
I think maybe Texas can cover, so I'll say that. I'm going to say a 3-point game. I'm going to say Ohio State 30-27.
30-27.
Yeah, I'll say that.
So you got the over barely.
Barely, yeah.
Okay. Just let everybody know, 7 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah.
79-78 Thunder. So we're missing a great games in here. Bullshit.
I know. Really.
We ought to be done
Really.
by the time we're in the fourth quarter. So
Yeah.
Maybe we'll sit back and drink a beer and enjoy this.
Yeah.
So you've got a Big Ten rematch for the national title, Ohio State, Penn State.
I do.
Going the opposite way. One Notre Dame, Texas.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
that's what America wants to see.
They do. I think they want to see Ohio State Notre Dame. I think that would be highly anticipated.
God,
Yeah.
And you know what? If it does become that matchup, I'm going to pick Ohio State because I really think that's what will happen.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm hoping for some reverse
psychology.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm sure Buckeye fans listening are probably glad that I went against you.
Yeah.
It's been working
After
this
what's
far.
been going on.
Yeah. So you're probably going to play for the title on January 20th. So,
Yeah.
So let's go. You got anything for college or?
No, I
know we talked about. We'll be back on the air before the title game to kind of review these two games and reset our picks if we need to. But if you're good on college, let's go right into the NFL.
That sounds great. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, Week 18 in the books. Crazy week with everything that has happened. Well, we can start with points, I think.
Oh, you want to start with that? I'm sure you do. Son of a bitch.
I had to say
pretty much the whole year.
Yeah.
In our lock/underdog picks of the week.
Yeah. So I knew I had you
within 3 going into the last week.
Yeah. When I took the Panthers, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then
that was.
Yeah. Man.
I let you go first because you were trailing, which was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It was the pick that I kind of wanted.
Yeah. And I said it. There was a lot of games on here that I thought these point spreads are high enough, but I don't like them, and I need someone who could win. And I freaking did it.
Atlanta choked it away.
Yeah.
I do think the Falcons went away from Cousins too quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so fitting though that they end up in a mediocre. When did they finish? 8-9.
8-9. Yeah.
That was the Kirk Cousins land that I lived in for 5 years. It was what he did in Washington. Just that, every now and then popping up and getting into the playoffs. Did win a playoff game with us.
Yeah.
Against the Saints, which we thank him for that. But yeah, it just doesn't surprise me that Atlanta ended up in that point, and they probably got away from him too quick. I'm scratching my head as to why you go to a rookie quarterback that late in the season,
right? With
the division within reach, I just don't get it. I'll never get it. But yeah, Carolina won outright. So you maxed out your points. It was a road game. Got the big 7 points. You got 0 from the Packers because not only did they not cover, they lost. And we were. I tell you what,
crazy.
We were way off on a lot of these NFL games.
A lot of them.
The ones I knew that there would be some upsets.
Mm-hmm.
I was picking the wrong ones and. The ones that I thought might be a sure thing will end up not being a sure thing. Kind of a crazy week with that. Hard to predict because you just don't know who's playing, who's not, what backups are going to show up. The Commanders, I only got 1 point from them. They did win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They did not cover. Dan Quinn went away from Daniels. I really thought, I knew they were playing for the 6-7 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So I really thought, okay, they're going to play this whole game, which is why I went with them.
Right.
As it turned out, he took Daniels out. He didn't give a shit which game he got.
Yeah.
And it ended up working out because the Packers lost and they won. So in my opinion, they got the better matchup for them. Even though the Eagles are a division rival, maybe they kind of wanted that. But I think they got a better shot of going to Tampa and winning.
Yeah.
So I only got a point for that. And then the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, we talk about they're barely winning games, right, all year. And I really thought, okay, the winning culture's there. Backups getting a chance to thrive and get that opportunity to play.
Yeah.
And, you can ruin, these backups could have ruined a team's season by winning the game. They completely laid an egg. 38-0. I mean, I don't, you mean to tell me that the two-time defending Super Bowl champions backups are that fucking bad
that
you're going to lose 38-0.
That's what I mean.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, like literally played no one, but I didn't realize how bad your second team is.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I said it last week that I questioned, you already have the bye wrapped up. So you already got that week off there. Now you're not playing this week. I think it's going to cost them.
And all these starters sitting. Yeah.
If they get the right matchup, maybe they win the first playoff game.
Yeah.
But there's tough teams in the AFC.
Right.
And we just talked with Jamal about Pittsburgh beating Baltimore. That's doable. Like that is a upset that could happen because I know you're down on them right now and deservingly so. But they could potentially, if they beat Baltimore, they could potentially play Kansas City. Come on, for us. The matchups could be there.
Yeah.
Having already played them, again, not playing well against them. Mm-hmm. But with the rest that they're going to have, I don't know. I think Kansas City, depending on who they play, could lose the first game.
Sure.
And they're going to remember this.
Yeah.
The Colts did it years ago when they had like a 14-2 season. They rested people. I don't even think it was 1 week. I think it was 2 weeks. I think they had home field clinched 3 weeks before the season was over and rested their starters for 2 weeks, then had a bye. And they lost first game. So
that's insane.
You just got to be careful with that.
Right.
I loved what the Texans did. We talked about this too. C.J. Stroud and the starters were out there for the first drive. They went down the field, scored a touchdown, came out of the game.
Yeah.
And they treated it like a preseason game. And maybe that's the way you go.
That's interesting.
Just to get the blood flowing.
Right.
They got a nice drive together. Maybe if Houston goes 3 and out on that drive, I bet you Stroud would have came out for drive 2.
Yeah, and now that's all they have in their mind too.
You have a preseason.
Yeah, that's all they have in their mind to walk into the playoff now. So
the last drive I was out there, which was last week.
We scored.
Yeah, and that's huge.
That plays a lot.
They got a more winnable game against the Chargers than they would have had with the Steelers with Pittsburgh losing. So I think Houston could win a game now. I would have definitely picked the Steelers in that game with no hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got to give it some pause. I'm rooting for Harbaugh and the Chargers.
Yeah.
But I actually think Houston might win that game.
I know.
I was definitely disappointed in the Chiefs. So I got nothing. I only got 1 point on the week. You got 7. You end up passing me.
Boom.
So you win it 79-76.
Boom.
I know we don't have enough games in the NFL to kind of
do
the point thing. We'll make our picks, but there's not going to be enough underdogs and everything else to do that. So we'll leave that as a regular season thing. So congratulations, you won the bowl pick 'em.
What a way to end it,
championship on the last week of the season. So
what a way to end it! I can't believe it. I needed those last 2 weeks, and that was the best. So just really happy.
Do you have a thank you speech or something ready now?
I wanted to say thank you to everyone that has gotten me here at this point. I want to thank my mom. And everyone at home for doing this for me. So, yeah.
So do we want to go through? I mean, some of the games, we're done.
Yeah, like some of these are, like the Colts and Jags. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Texans win, like you said.
We talked about Atlanta blowing it. Again, Tampa Bay ended up pulling away from New Orleans. They struggled for a while with the very depleted Saints.
Yeah.
They had almost no squad out there.
Baker. I mean, he got it away, pulled it out.
Yeah.
And Mike Evans surpasses the 1,000 again.
That was
insane.
A little corny to me, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little cheesy that they, you're up 8. New Orleans is out of timeouts. You throw the fucking football to give them the record. Just not a big.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I feel differently if I'm a Tampa Bay fan.
Yeah.
Or if I'm Mike Evans myself, like.
He's just been doing it year after year.
I just don't like things like that.
Yeah.
I still remember when Favre fell for fucking Michael Strahan to get the sack record, and the guy's name for the Jets is escaping me right now. Is it Gastineau? Is that whose record he broke? I think it's Mark Gastineau.
Okay.
And obviously they just had 30 for 30 for the New York Sack Exchange.
Oh yeah.
And I guess he confronted Favre about it, and good for him. Like
wow.
That's fucking bullshit. Like he loses this record on number one. I think there was maybe 2 more games played in the regular season for one.
These expansions on this week too, though. For
he sees him coming and
Evans.
falls down, doesn't try to get it out of the way or throw it away, and it was kind of a gentlemanly thing between Strahan and Favre, and I don't disagree with Gastineau being upset about it. So it's just cheesy. I didn't, whatever. I mean, it's if that's what you're gonna do, I'm sure. The coaches probably talked about it at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't to rub it in your face. But the fact is, even if it's a little 5-yard out, you're throwing the football when a kneel down wins the game.
Right.
It's just okay.
I guess. Yeah. It's just like
It's just maybe I'm being a get off my lawn guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way.
Sure.
Like I'm trying to put myself in the position of the Saints, which fuck that franchise anyway. But, I don't like it. I don't hate them as much as I used to now that Shawn Payne's gone. So,
okay.
That anger can now go on to Denver. So, how about the Bears? How about we talk about the Packers blowing it?
What a way for them to end their season.
I guess. Yeah.
What
though? Good for the interim coach. I was hard on them when they lost the Hail Mary, and I said they would not win a game the rest of the year. So I guess if you're going to win one, at least you beat my hated rival.
Yeah.
And got them doubting themselves a little bit going to the playoffs, which I kind of love.
Because if the Packers win and they keep winning, that's not good. Not good.
Well, I tell you what.
Now with their depletion,
now that they're the 7th seed, if they were to upset Philadelphia, and we don't know about Jalen Hurts, as of right now.
Still, he was at practice today. He was playing today.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what that means, but he's been in concussion protocol for 2 weeks. It's weird. Yeah. And the fact that he's
almost
not
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. And it's the fact that he's not been cleared, because if he doesn't clear this time, he has to go through it again. He has to go through and look at the colors and count the ABCs and do all the concussion protocol again if he doesn't pass it. So something's going on.
I don't even know if I can pass it.
Yeah, really.
That's what you tested.
It's a lot. It's intuitive for sure. Yeah. So.
Well, so I'm happy for the Bears. Fuck Green Bay, but I got a little bitter, with being up in Detroit with the Lions fans, with some of them. I'm not going to say all of them. Mm-hmm. And a majority of the fans were fine, but the arrogance for a franchise that's never fucking done anything. It's baffling. It's very Cleveland-like.
So that's the only thing that's bad about giving a team like that a winning streak, games to win, this sort of thing, because Cleveland did it too. Cleveland does it, yeah.
I do think they're going to choke. I do think they're going to choke in the playoffs.
Okay.
They're a franchise that is perpetually have been losers, and that I feel like sometimes catches up with you.
Yeah, so for sure.
From a matchup perspective,
the only thing is
maybe the Vikings-Lions is not a good matchup for them. But even though I hate Green Bay, I can't stand them.
No.
But part of me wants Green Bay to upset Philly.
And then upset.
Because I do think that whether the Lions play us or they play the Packers, they swept both of us. I think, again, and I think it was Jamal that reiterated that about how it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So, and so the perspective I'm looking at is the Vikings are the 5 seed. Okay?
Sure.
So we have to go to Detroit. We got to go to any of the top 4.
Yeah.
And we are going to the 4 seed. So, hypothetically, if Green Bay were to beat Philly, which is doable if Hurts doesn't play, but we don't know about Jordan Love either.
Really.
If Green Bay pulls that off, goes in Detroit and pulls it off, and the Vikings can win their 2 playoff games, we're at home for the NFC Championship.
That's crazy.
Now, on the flip side of that, we are in the same scenario because we swept Green Bay.
Yeah.
So do I want the Packers there? I mean, I'm at that point, if I want a home NFC Championship game, if I'm not rooting for Green Bay, I'm rooting for the Commanders. But do I think the Commanders are going to win 2 games? I don't.
No.
I don't even think they're going to win 1. So I'm rooting for it because if Green Bay can upset Philly and Washington upsets Tampa and the Vikings win, we're at home in the divisional round.
Yeah, that's
we get Washington at home, which would be nice.
Yeah.
And I like that matchup. I feel like that's a win. And then maybe if Detroit beats Green Bay, then we go to Detroit, but it'll be for the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
which I would much rather have than playing them for the divisional round. I want to, if we got to go back on the road to play the Lions, I want it to be for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the only thing is now is the Lions are going to get healthy, and healthy means David Montgomery, and I don't think anyone wants to see him at this point, especially the way that they were able to win without him.
Yeah, Gibbs scores 4 touchdowns and doesn't even have his backup guy there. Yeah,
so it's interesting.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be interesting, but we'll get to each of the playoff matchups. Any other regular season games that you want to wrap up? I mean, some of them were unimportant. We talked about Houston going with their starters for the first drive.
Yeah.
You want to talk about another? We talked about Evans being cheesy, getting that record on essentially the last play of that game, when they didn't need to even run a play, let alone a passing play. What did you think about Josh Allen extending his starting streak by handing the fucking ball.
Yeah, handing the ball off and then getting out. That's one
cheesy.
Cheesy like get off my I think I'm on that. Get off my lawn.
You should play half the game.
Don't eat. Yeah.
Like if you're
don't go in
pitcher,
at all.
If you're a starting pitcher and you get an out.
Are you gonna throw one pitch or what?
Right. Yeah. You don't get the win if you're only in there for the third of an inning. So at the start of the game. So I just don't. I just didn't like it. I thought it was dumb. I think like you should play half a game or something for a streak like that to count.
Right.
You should play more than half the game.
I was hearing rumors though in Buffalo for Shawn McDermott's job though, which could get weird, especially because
he's the 2 seed.
I know, but I've heard that like they haven't gotten him. They lose the Chiefs every time. They're in the playoffs again, but it's like a Mike Thomas scenario, like Jamal was talking about, the Yinzers and everything else. Sure. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with Sean McDermott leaving either. But I do.
So we have a lunatic fringe in Buffalo.
Oh, there is one. Yeah, now that they're good. Yeah, for sure. And
interesting.
Smashing up tables. But yeah, I would not want that to happen for Buffalo. I don't think if I'm a Buffalo fan, I don't want Sean McDermott. I think he's the guy to get us over the hump, and he's done it. He's brought them back to where they are now.
Unless you have some kind of backdoor agreement with.
Yeah,
a head coach with a pedigree, you can maybe sell me on it.
Yeah,
that's just. I mean, they've won 5 straight divisional titles.
Yeah,
ever since New England
doesn't have Tom.
New England's reign was over.
Yeah,
ever since Tom Brady left. That's interesting.
I mean that's like a very low rumor though. I think I saw it. So yeah.
So I was on my way into the stadium by the time the 4:30 games ran around. By the time we were walking away from the tailgate, it was already 21 in Denver. That was the game that was on there, so I did not want to see that. But how about Arizona scoring 47 on the Niners?
I know.
Before the Niners just 6-11. I mean, if you'd have told me that at the beginning of the year, I thought you were crazy.
Yeah, I think I didn't. Like you said though earlier in the year that Bartlett. People they don't let this happen usually, and this is. I know it's down. I know they're down.
Injuries, but again they have the winning culture there. You would have thought that they would have. There was just
Purdy
some games
still?
At the beginning of the year. I don't think Brock Purdy's that great.
I don't think he is either.
I think he just has the right, team around him. I kind of thought that could have been a landing spot for Cousins a year ago, and with what's going on in Atlanta,
do not give Kyle Shanahan a guy above Brock Purdy. That's all I'm saying. I think he'll win a Super Bowl.
I can see Kirk Cousins going there.
Man.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I heard them linked to the Browns, though, too. For competition. Cousins? Yeah. They want competition in Cleveland.
That's not 7, 8 wins anyway.
Yeah.
Chargers won.
Jets win.
Yeah.
Jets win. That was good. Aaron said that might be his. I mean, we don't know, but it could be his last game.
Nobody knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
He's got to go to his quiet place or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to go out and do some stuff, some drugs maybe. Yeah, do all that. So
good for him, getting the 5th win of the season.
Yeah.
He went out, I guess, with a bang. 4 touchdown passes, ruined Miami's any chance that they had of going anyway. Which obviously Denver blew out Kansas City, so it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Rams fall into the 4 seed on the last day. I thought that was another interesting.
I think Garoppolo playing and.
Yeah, I mean, are you not caring that? I mean, because at the end of the day, you already knew that the loser of that Vikings-Lions game was going to be a 14-win team. On paper, going to be a harder matchup than what that 6 seed is going to be. So I'm surprised that they didn't want the 3 seed.
I know.
I'm kind of hoping that
gives
us the edge and goes against them. I'm a little scared of the fucking wildfires going on that they're going to rise up from that shit. We always seem to
don't throw them into like St. Louis, dude. The Rams will show hell out. Like, I don't think they're going to go that far over, but you know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that.
If they go that far...
Is that dome even, like,
I don't know.
readily available?
I don't even know if it's going to work that.
I mean, the rumor was they're trying to be, geographically close to them. So
I was going to say,
Arizona,
like, trying
Vegas,
to... You'll be fine there, yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Just don't throw them closer to over... You know what I mean? Like, if you're getting even closer, like, you're going to get...
Well, why don't you just fucking put it in Minnesota? We have 14 goddamn wins anyway. Like
I know, you probably should.
We should be a fucking home game.
Really.
But, it is what it is. Like, you knew the scenario coming into it. Just because we lost the game doesn't mean we should have to.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, someday, probably when Dallas or, one of their golden boy teams have that scenario where they end up the 5 seed, that's when they'll fucking change the rule.
Yeah.
And say, oh, well, if you're 3 games better than the team you're going to play, then you get the game at home. They'll do it for those franchises. They ain't ever going to do it for Minnesota or Detroit. That's for sure. So, So I guess we'll. We forgot the Saturday games. Do you want to talk about your?
I don't. I mean,
losing streak?
I was just hoping we were going to get over that, throw that pass, but I'm very sad.
Tried to sneak it out.
Yeah.
I guess we already had Steelers corner.
We did. And that was a great corner. That was great.
Yeah.
Maybe not as sad. I'm very sad right now. I have no words. We needed that win to win the Ravens, and now the Ravens are going to blow us out.
I gave you shit
I don't
about
care.
I gave you shit about Pickens, kind of the beginning of the season where I felt like he was trying to.
No, but he was making those. He was making those catches though. He was.
But he was
everything.
Where the hell is he? I mean, is he still hurt? Like,
I don't know why he dropped that many freaking passes. If we didn't drop all those passes,
for flags when he's not even being touched.
Yes,
he's like falling.
He's
down.
trying to fall against
is this
him.
WWE? Like what?
Yeah, no, he does. He likes to fight too. Like that's just who he is. He likes to try and get in freaking arguments and fight everyone that's on the field or try to defend him. So he's just like a nutcase. But he can. Yeah. When he's good, he's good. It's not great yet. Like I think it can be great, but like
Mark Madden wants him benched for the playoffs. Like. Scratched.
Okay, I don't agree.
You're not gonna get that far.
No, well, unless if he keeps dropping the ball. If he drops the ball like 3 times in the first half, he's gone. Like get him out. Yeah, I don't. Van Jefferson, our number 1 receiver, who would have freaking thought that?
Yeah,
that's awful. That is so bad. I need a Freiermuth career game against the Ravens. We'll get into that. I'm just so sad. I'm sad.
Okay.
Very depressed.
Well, I'm sad too.
Yeah.
We'll segue over to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Man, I rewatched some of the game. Obviously, I was there. I got in on that ticket deal. Did we know that when we were on the air? What day were we on the air last week?
We did. We did know that.
I couldn't remember.
You were going. We talked about
it was Saturday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we talked the day before. So obviously, we got made fun of for that after. It was going
all those tickets. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, they spent $2 million.
I can hear it now.
Okay,
yeah.
Number one, it was your fucking fans' season tickets that we bought
that didn't want to go
because we talked about. I met with a lot of the Viking fans there that got these tickets, and the Lions fans that were around. These were the prime, like in the heart of where the season ticket holders sit. So these were all season ticket holders of Detroit Lions fans. So it's your fucking tickets that you're selling.
Yeah.
So no, don't give me shit when your fan base is the one selling.
And they don't want to go. They didn't want to go.
Yeah,
they sell,
flipping a profit.
Yeah,
whatever. I get it. Like the one guy that sat in front of me was actually from Vancouver, Washington, and he flies there for most games. And he said,
"That's impressive."
He actually told me, and I feel like, maybe this is bad karma. He told me, okay, we win tonight, we get the number 1 seed. I'm selling the divisional round game, and I'll be here for the NFC Championship. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you better fucking win the division.
You better win that.
So it's almost like it's funny to them that they're, and I kind of thought that too. While I was rooting for the number 1 seed, I thought, okay, it's going to be good for us to be at home. And most of the time as a number 1 seed, it is a guaranteed pick.
Yeah.
Or a guaranteed trip to the conference championship game. And 55% of the time, it means you're going to the Super Bowl. That's what the odds are as a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And it falls to 3% as a 5 seed. So that's not great. There's only been 2 teams that have made it to the Super Bowl as a 5 seed. 2. That's it.
That's crazy.
That's the list. Yeah. So don't feel great about that.
Nah.
But hearing them talk about the fact that I'm going to sell my tickets to the divisional round because they're going to go for X amount of dollars. Because they're going for in the section we were in 130, they're going for $1,000 a piece, and that was for a regular season game. Granted. A huge regular season game that turned out was for the number 1 seed, but you didn't know that going in, right?
Yeah.
But now you know this is a playoff game, so to me it's going to top at least that, if not more. So, this guy's planning on selling them, and I'm just going to come to the NFC Championship. It was like,
all right, yeah.
Then they're not going to the NFC Championship. But so it was interesting there. So we took a lot of shit on the way out. There was a couple idiotic fans. You're going to get them in every stadium.
For sure.
We had a guy that was coming down. This started in like the third quarter when the Lions scored and made a play. I don't even know where he was sitting, but it was at least 15, 20 rows behind us. And we had aisle seats. He's coming down and getting on our faces and was like, "Oh, the pro shop's up there if you want to buy more shit." I'm like, "Well, I'm not a bandwagon fan."
Yeah.
Like apparently you are, Like this is why I hated the Saints too. Like the NFL keeps glorifying them, that how great the fan base is. And don't get me wrong, it was loud as shit in the stadium. It was probably the loudest indoor stadium I've ever been to. Now, I question personally how much they're pumping in to the stadium for the sound, because all the people around us, yes, they were cheering, but it wasn't like this rabid. It wasn't Beaver Stadium. Like that place was literally moving, physically moving. That's how loud it was. And this wasn't doing that. And I know it's an indoor stadium. It's probably built better than Beaver Stadium. That it's gonna be more reinforced like that, where it's like you're gonna feel that sway and that movement. And we were literally in the front row there, so like we were really had the bowl on top of us.
Yeah.
And I don't buy that it was that loud just from the fans, only because of the fact that everybody around us wasn't rabid. It was just like it was cheering, but it wasn't overbearing and crazy, and I need headphones, right? So I do question that a little bit. But the same with the Saints. You're talking about a franchise that these fans put paper bags over their heads.
Oh,
when,
man.
In the Lions case, they went 0-16.
Yeah.
And all the shit, and it was made fun of. And I went there 5 years ago, Tyler, and it was 70% Vikings fans. So like you don't all of a sudden overnight, like, and again, they're good and they're showing up and doing all that, but it's like, where were you? Like I've been to a lot of Viking games when we weren't very good. Yeah. And we still had a huge following. The Lions never had that. They're getting it now. They're the hot to trot,
But I can't believe if that guy is selling his tickets, if you went through those years, I would not sell any of them. I would go to all of them, all of those games. If I keep winning, that's just me, I guess. But
and again, things come up, and you got like
I get
to sell
it.
Tickets,
flipping ticket, trying to get a profit.
A couple Michigan tickets because I just logistically couldn't go.
Yeah.
But we had a tough season this year, and I went to as many as we could. The only one I sold, the only two I sold, was when I was following Pearl Jam around. Yeah. So I didn't miss any other games after that.
Yeah.
So I get it. It is what it is. Overall, the fan base wasn't horrible. There were some realistic people that are savoring the moment. They understand the big picture that they may not be done playing us. To try to alleviate some of the shit that I knew I was going to take walking out of that stadium, because I did leave when they scored our last touchdown with still 6 minutes to go. Yeah. I started walking out, and the two Lions fans that were sitting next to us walked with us, and instead of trying to put my head down and try to ignore and let people have the opportunity of, the one annoying thing was the skull chant. A lot of them were doing the skull chant. Oh, jeez. That never ends good, by the way, when players of other opposing teams do it. So I'm hoping that's karma, that comes back, that they were doing that. Come up with your own shit. I can't stand it. I'm so unoriginal. These teams keep doing that. Yeah. When they're beating us. But all the way up, most of the Lions fans that I would see in the aisles, I was giving them a pound. Good game. We'll see you soon.
Dan Campbell literally said it.
Yeah.
He said the game.
And then about halfway up, I encountered a kid that was probably maybe a little bit older than Kendall. Maybe 10, 11 years old. Viking fan, he's crying. And his dad, dressed in lion shit, fucking doing the skull chant, not saying a damn word to his 10-year-old kid. It pissed me off. So I stopped, got on my knee, and I kind of consoled the kid a little bit. I said, man, I've liked him since I was your age. Actually, for years before that, probably. But I said, since I was your age, I've been a fan of this team. And I haven't seen him win a Super Bowl. You got it. The future is bright. And I told him that. I told him what I said to you a couple weeks ago, that for the first time in my life, I don't feel like all the eggs are in one basket. We got to win it this year. Every other year it's been that way. It's because we either had a 38-year-old aging quarterback that had one last hurrah in him, or we had a salary cap situation where it was going to mean, half our good players were going to have to leave because we couldn't wrap them all up. That is not the case. We have the fourth best salary cap space. We're young. We've got a rookie quarterback that I'm excited about. That's only going to be in his second year of a 5-year contract. Maybe we franchise Darnold and bring him back. Sunday night, I can tell you right now, it was one step closer to not doing that. If that's what he's going to be in a big game, I'm willing to let it slide that it was the first big game he was in his career. Maybe he got the jitters out of him. We'll definitely tell Monday night. If the same shit happens Monday night where he's over fucking throwing receivers by 5 yards,
gone.
He's gone. He's gone,
sure.
And I'm good with that
for sure.
He got us. This is what I thought at the beginning of the year anyway, was a playoff team. I never would have expected 14 wins.
That's what.
The 5 seed wild card makes sense.
But not 14.
And it was just the way. It's just the way it was with the Lions being as good as they are. We weren't ever going to overcome them. we held ground with them, and we were right there on their necks the whole year.
Yeah.
All those memes that were coming out with the Undertaker, being right around him, or John Daly smoking a cigarette next to Tiger Woods. It was like we're dicking around with a rebuild year with Sam Darnold. Yeah. And we're on the tail of everybody. Like, let's remember, the Lions were the popular Super Bowl pick all year.
Yeah.
And when I got back from that game, got me some Taco Bell, went to the hotel, 1 o'clock in the morning. I turned on the TV, the Detroit local news is on, right? Because I stayed up in Monroe, Michigan. The sideline reporter, right when I turned on the TV, was talking about, they were doing the Michigan versus everybody mantra. No, everybody doubted us and blah, blah, blah. Doubted you? What the fuck are you talking about? You literally would have fucking favored the entire fucking season.
Yeah.
The entire fucking season. And you're talking about, they're doubting us. Like, what?
Doubting nothing.
It was so, like, it reminded me of fucking Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Like, we're not soft. Nobody had said that. They said, the injury's catching up to you. But nobody said, the Lions are done.
Right.
If anybody said that, you show me the fucking audio of that.
I know.
Because nobody fucking said it. We were a popular pick of maybe upsetting them. But at the end of the day, they were still the favorite to win that game. And they were the favorite the entire season. Yeah. So it was just crazy to me.
You were on the other side of the Michigan versus everybody.
They're trying to like build this up and whatever. If that's working for them, then so be it. But I had to turn it off. I'm like, give me out of the local news shit. Yeah. Like, I've always hated that. I would much rather listen to a national broadcast. I do love listening to Paul Allen for the Vikings, but I'm not one of those people there's people out that sit at home when their team is on national TV and listen to their hometown broadcast because they want that biased opinion. I don't. I want to hear what the national pundits are saying about us. Because to me, that is the unbiased opinion. Yeah, at least it should be. Unless you're watching Joe Buck and the Packers. But so I'm all for that. But it was just disgusting to me that they did it. But as far as the game itself, had opportunities. I mean, I was in the end zone where we had 14 fucking plays inside the 5 and don't score a touchdown.
That's not
Darnold
good.
was 1 for 9 passing inside the 5-yard line.
I just was watching it. I'm like, the one I think Justin Jefferson should have had. Which one was that?
With the one with the back of the sideline. Yeah, worried about his feet. Yeah, so there's that one. And then
I'm like, Jay, you gotta.
I know, but it still would have been a tough catch at the end of the day.
No, it would have been. Yeah,
you just expect it from somebody.
That's what I mean. That's what I should say.
Because it was Justin Jefferson, you expect it. But he got overthrown on one. There were 2 or 3 plays where he, especially Jordan Addison, like right when the ball was snapped, and I can go back and show you to you. There were 2 or 3 different times that he had Addison wide open. I'm not talking by 2 yards.
I remember seeing it. Yeah,
where you throw and he's looking at it. So it's like, and there were 2 plays where Hawkinson gave up. Where yes, the ball was a little overthrown, but I felt like he didn't get his hands up. My wife pointed out, Van Ginkel looked like he was going to have a pick 6. That was kind of like he had it, and then when he realized it was the ball,
he dropped it.
He dropped it. I don't know. I don't know if shit's and again, if it is fixed, because there were some questionable calls, the fucking grounding in the end zone that they didn't call, which is bullshit. That was a safety.
They said that the Jahmyr Gibbs was there.
No.
And I'm like, I don't.
Well, they said 89 was in the area.
Oh, 89.
Yeah, 89 was in the area because he was fucking blocking somebody.
Yeah, he really though.
A tight end and an offensive lineman on the play. So
that would have been.
He threw it away to avoid a sack. Period.
Yeah.
Period. So that would have been a safety ball back.
Yeah.
And now they end up getting a pick a couple plays later that set up for yet another field goal.
That's right.
Started inside the 10.
Yeah.
So they kind of equaled out with that. But there was a couple times where there was you could tell some holding going on, especially inside the 5. Jefferson got held twice and didn't call it. Hawkinson got held on it was either the 3rd or 4th down play. That they didn't call that. So at the end of the day, I knew that was going to happen coming in. I said that again, the Lions were the darlings all year. And let's be real, from an NFL revenue perspective, Detroit needs the revenue of a home game or 2 more than Minneapolis does. So at the end of the day, I feel like they got what they wanted from that aspect. If it was going to come down to it. Right. I'm not blaming it. It's not why they lost. The Vikings lost because they proved that they weren't ready for that scenario. Or at least Darnold wasn't. I thought the defense played okay. They ended up giving up 31 points, but they were dog tired. I mean, it was 2 minutes to go in the 3rd before Detroit got to 17. So you're talking about a high-powered offense that for 3 quarters you held them for a touchdown. I thought the defense played admirably despite that happening. Again, if Van Ginkel hangs onto that ball, he gets a pick six.
And
that game might be tied with 9 minutes to go.
Yes, right.
So who knows what the hell happened?
Yeah, this 31 that was scored, it was late. This stuff happened.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns
like,
were late.
It's not.
We're going for it on 4th down, deep.
And I'm not looking at this now as a 31-9 score. It just wasn't going to be that. Especially like you said, the interceptions, this or that. And it really is that though, because like there were some times when I thought, man, like if he just doesn't just overthrow, even if he overthrows it by not 8 feet but 2 feet, like this is a touchdown. Yeah. So it's. I guess my only question is, and maybe it is Super Bowl. Your answer would be Super Bowl, but I don't. I kind of want to just hear it. What game is it when you're like, okay, Sam is gone, Sam Darnold's gone, and you want JJ?
Oh, I think if they lose Monday night, he's definitely gone.
Yes, but say he wins the next. He goes to the NFC Championship game and he loses.
Then I'm back to where I probably was a couple weeks ago.
And you want to sign him?
Franchising. I think you can. I think you waste the franchise on him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get whatever the tag is at this point, which is 20 million, 30 million. I don't even know. It's definitely double, triple what he's getting now
for sure.
Which is like I think 10.
Yeah,
I think he's got a $10 million contract on this 1 year. That's what I want. That's all the more. Like I would be willing to give him 1 more year.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to sign him, and it's not nothing against him.
Yeah,
it's just. We are already in that scenario with Cousins. We got in the salary cap situation by giving our quarterback a ton of money, and we don't have any of the other pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the good thing about McCarthy, who, yes, it's a lot of unknown. I feel good about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think O'Connell has proven that he's a quarterback whisperer, and I think with the weapons and the pieces that are around it, I think it's a perfect scenario for McCarthy. Now, if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But I think it's a risk you're willing to take because you have him in a rookie contract. And you would have 3 or 4 more years of it to know if he's the guy. You know? Kind of like Seattle had with Russell Wilson. That's why they were able to get all these pieces around him, because they didn't have to pay him yet.
Yeah.
And there will come a time, if JJ is the guy and he gets us to the promised land, yes, we're going to have to pay him. But by that point, we already have climbed the peak there, so to speak. And now we become a franchise that people want to go to, and we don't have to necessarily spend the money to convince you to come otherwise. So,
but if Sam was a Super Bowl winning quarterback,
if he wins the Super Bowl,
you sign him.
I mean, I would still. This is going to surprise me. Still franchise him.
So even a loss.
Look at the Eagles. I mean, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl and they let him walk.
Yeah.
Because they really thought Carson was the guy.
Yeah.
And even I didn't think that. So
I think that's a different dynamic. Like, is JJ? Do you think it's a dynamic of Nick Foles did win it, but like JJ doesn't have a chance to come in the back of the Super Bowl.
And Carson was proving it. Like, I mean, the Eagles had the record. He, he was talking as the MVP before he went down.
What a time.
We don't have that, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then look, he gets a chance on Sunday.
It doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I do think that, there's a lot of unknown there, but man, if, the rumors now is, we should field calls for trading him. Now, can you convince me if somebody's dumb enough to take a chance on JJ and say, we'll give you 2 first-round picks, and they're a bad team, and we're in the top 10 picking? Maybe. Because maybe then we can, if we have an eye set on a different franchise quarterback, we get him and still have a pick.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to give that kind of haul for a guy that hasn't played. So, but I would be, if we did trade him, if he works out, we're already
that sucks.
In a way, not a laughing stock franchise because we're always competitive.
Yeah.
But we're not in the Browns or what the Lions used to be. Like, we're not in that realm. But holy shit, will we get made fun of? Like, if he ends up working out, and I just don't want to take that risk.
I know you don't want to take the risk. Yeah,
it's hard for me to see it. It is hard for me to be completely unbunbiased.
Yeah,
because the guy won a national championship.
Yeah, the guy won it for our team.
His smiley face tattooed on my fucking head. So I get it, but
that makes sense where you're coming from. I completely get it. Yeah, I'm also on the side of NFC Championship, and you win, and he loses in the Super Bowl. I'm thinking, we're going to extend him.
We let Keenum go. Keenum got us to the NFC Championship. And my brother gives me hard time about that.
That's right.
But being a football person, I mean, Case Keenum, it just was kind of the scenario. And we got boat raced against the Eagles. It's not like we were that close to the Super Bowl. And we needed a Minneapolis miracle to even win. And granted, we were up 21-3 or 21 whatever the hell it was. 20-0, whatever it was. And so we should have not had to come down to that, but we did, and he pulled it off, pulled a rabbit out of his hat. So I don't know. I just don't think. Again, Sunday night proved it a little bit.
It did. The overthrows, maybe just too much jittery.
It's possible. Yeah. So,
all right.
So let's make our picks for.
Yeah, first round.
By the way, we got 2 minutes to go. The Cavs are up.
Man, yeah,
123 to 1. I didn't think we'd be sticking around, but obviously the phone calls we made, a little bit of a longer show.
That's okay.
Probably gonna be one of our last long shows of the year.
Yeah, really. So, we gotta cherish them while we have them.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so first round. I guess we can start for Saturday, right? We'll start there.
4:30 on CBS. We got the Chargers at the Texans.
Yeah.
The Texans are underdogs at 3. I kind of already laid the foundation that I love the way that they played the last week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big, as you know, Harbaugh guy. I like to see the Chargers win this game.
I think the Chargers have to, it feels like it's like a Harbaugh. Can Harbaugh coach this good? Mm-hmm. That's how I'm looking at it. It depends on. Yeah, but I think I agree. The way Texans played, I like it.
And I found it interesting that they're a home underdog. So I'm going to go Houston. I'll take the 3.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I think they went outright anyway. But
yeah. It's the only thing that scares me. CJ Stroud has not been as good as he once we thought he was. We thought this team was a dark horse to win the whole thing this year. In my opinion, I thought they were. And now, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
But I do think, especially a road dog, if the Chargers were at home, they would have gotten 6, you're telling me, which is just insane.
Yeah.
Give me the Texans to overcome it. Need a big day from Joe Mixon here. So
okay.
I like that too.
And then 8 o'clock, Amazon Prime, which Kendall has a couple of tournament games Saturday nights. I'm a little pissed because I can't record it. But I do believe Amazon is what the Thursday night games are, so I'm assuming they'll broadcast in the same way, which allows you to either do 2 things. You can go back to where the broadcast started, or you can do that rapid recap.
Oh yeah, that rapid recap.
So depending on what time we get back from that, I'm probably gonna have to tape or record the end of the Chargers Texans game anyway.
Yeah.
So it might depend on what time I get around to watching that. But Pittsburgh, Baltimore 9.5.
That's too many points. I don't know if we're gonna win this game, but I know that's way too many freaking points.
Okay.
In my opinion, I want to say we're gonna win, but I think we're gonna lose. I don't think we're going to get blown up by 10, but I do think it's going to be close. So
this one's simple for me. We talked about it the first time they met when Pittsburgh won. It was the same thing I complained about when Baltimore had lost earlier in the year. Just give the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. And I think if you try to overthink it or try to let Lamar Jackson gain some MVP votes wild card weekend and you try to let him throw around, you're just going to play right into Pittsburgh's hands.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to send the pass rush. I think we'll get turnovers off them if they do that. So the key to me is, does Derrick Henry get 20 carries? If Derrick Henry gets 20 carries, I think Baltimore not only wins, I think they cover.
Man.
If they give him the rock.
Yeah. If we lose by 10, that is so embarrassing. And to lose 5 in a row, lose by 10 like that, I will be freaking
I do,
irate.
yeah. I mean, if I'm betting it, I like the points.
I'm taking it,
Yeah, but I think the Ravens will be in control.
Yeah.
And
this is so sad. All I wanted was a first round win. I didn't care what else would happen, and it's just we gotta get the turnovers. We got to have Derrick Henry fumble. We gotta have Lamar throw a pick. Those are the basics. The win the turnover battle. That's all I can hope for. So
okay,
so sad.
So if you're betting, you're taking Baltimore to win the game.
Yeah, I'm taking Baltimore to win, but I'm just hoping. I think we'll cover. I mean, if we don't cover, I'm gonna be freaking so pissed. Yeah.
All right, so we go to Sunday, 1 o'clock CBS, Denver at Buffalo. I'm sure everybody in Buffalo is rejoicing when the Broncos won.
Really?
Although, that becomes the interesting thing, right? I'm sure most of them did not want to see Burrow. So they were actively probably rooting for Denver to win their game.
Yeah.
And now you get Denver. So does that come back to haunt you? I don't think it does. I think Buffalo clears it, the 8.5. I think... I know we're not going to go deep all the way and fill out our brackets today.
Yeah.
But I will say that I kind of agree with some of the callers we had earlier. I think it's finally Buffalo's year to get to the Super Bowl. I do.
Me too. I think that, I think they're such a good team. James Cook has been playing out of his mind. 1,000-yard season this year too. So, it's just the Bills. I'm taking the Bills here. Kudos to the Broncos. Kudos to everything Sean Payton's doing with Bo Nix, and Bo Nix has been playing great. But the Bills fans are rejoicing. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to go all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
So we got a 124-122 Cavs lead, exactly 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
4:30 on Fox on Sunday, Green Bay at Philadelphia. Philadelphia minus 4.5. You said while we were on the air that you did see the report that Hurts did practice today. And obviously Love's banged up. I mean, this is going to be a hard one for us to pick, 3 days before the game.
Yeah.
The Eagles easily could go to the Super Bowl, but I also could see them losing this game. And this was a rematch of early in the season where Philadelphia did win. The Packers are kind of stumbling in. They played us pretty tough in Minnesota, so it's a hard loss to count against them.
Yeah.
But losing at home to the Bears when you had a chance
That's insane.
of getting to the 6th seed and you play everybody is kind of interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's like the fact that I don't like the Eagles. I'm going to bank on the fact that either Hurts doesn't play or isn't 100%. I'll say Green Bay upsets them.
Wow. Yeah. I think even you need Jalen Hurts to play. I don't think you need to have him throw for 300 yards. All you have to do is just give Saquon the ball. And then I think Philly wins this game. I'm taking Philly. Especially I think Philadelphia's going to be bumping. I like Saquon here. I like him to do it all. Should have had the record. Very excited to play. But yeah, I like the Eagles.
And to cover?
4.5.
And then the Sunday night game on NBC, Washington at Tampa. I felt this was interesting. The Lions where it was. I feel like this is one of my. If I was taking the lock of the week, I like the Bucs.
Okay.
I'm rooting for the Commanders of the possibility that the Vikings can host a divisional round game, but I think Tampa Bay wins this game.
Yeah.
And I feel like they win it easily.
Easily, wow. Yeah, I think it's going to be close, in my opinion. I just think Baker and Mike Evans and Bucky Irving are just going to the playmakers of this team who've done it all year. I think they're going to be able to score what they want to do. The Commanders had a great year, though, man. Great year. But yeah, I'm taking the Bucs. I'm taking the Bucs. -3. I think they're going to cover it, too. So.
And then the last game, the wild
game.
card weekend, Monday night, which we knew going into the Lions game, the rumor got spread around there that it was going to be the Monday night game since the Vikings was the last game on Sunday. Gave us that extra day break. The Rams are underdogs at home, given 1. I like the matchup. Obviously, our very first broadcast was during the Rams-Vikings game.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, similar to what happened Sunday night. They just didn't play a great game. They're coming off a 5-day layoff. So it was a quick turnaround, having to go on the road, which I kind of led into that anyway, that I wasn't so sure about the prospects of that game because of that. That's what's unknown about the Thursday night game. Obviously, if they call that face mask on Darnold, we got the ball at the 20, minute 45, down 8. Who knows what happens? Maybe get on the field and tie it and don't lose it. If I'm worried about the way the Viking history goes and vibes and looking at it, do I not feel great about the fact that up until Sunday night we had only lost 2 games all year, and it was Detroit and Rams back to back, and we lose to Detroit Sunday night, and now we're playing the Rams Monday night?
Yeah.
I don't like that. It's a little bit different scenario. Obviously, this is the playoffs, and instead of playing on Thursday night, we got an extra day to prepare for them as opposed to 3 less days.
Yeah.
So that's good. You can go the old adage, you already beat us once, now we get another look at you. That isn't necessarily working with Detroit. I'm going to bank on the fact that Donald got the jitters out of his system on Sunday, and O'Connell's going to calm him down. If you listen to O'Connell's speeches, whether it's pregame or postgame, he always talks about 1-0 and just worrying about what's going on in front of him in the week before. They know what's out in front of them. Everything's still there to go do it. You're just going to have to take a harder road to get there to do it. It was a matchup that if I could have handpicked a first-round matchup, if we did not get the 1 seed, this is the one I wanted. A little bit of a revenge factor in there, but if it wasn't the Commanders, I wanted to play the Rams. They would have been my second pick of the playoff matchup, and I got it. So we don't know where the game's going to be played. Obviously, the wildfire's going on.
I know.
Who knows if it ends up in LA or not. I don't care where it is. It could be on the fucking moon. I'm going to take the Vikings. So I do like the over on 48, though.
All right, yeah. No, I like the Vikings here. I don't think it's an overlook here. I think O'Connell's going to have these guys ready. They want revenge from the Thursday night game.
It's crazy that you have 14 wins and you're away, and I think that's also a added motivation for these guys, for the Vikings team. So yeah, I'm taking the Vikings. The fact that it's only -1 is crazy. I don't think it's gonna be that close.
Yeah,
I really don't. So yeah, and the over might happen. I don't know. I don't know about the 48.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. Vikings. Give me the Vikings.
So who's your right now, as we sit here today, and we'll review it as we go week by week.
Yeah.
Who's your Super Bowl 59 pick?
Oh man. You're not gonna like it, but I'm doing the Lions.
Lions, Bills.
Yeah, especially I'll do that.
It's probably,
especially if David Montgomery comes back and he's good while he's like coming back from injury. Like I don't know. Yeah, I got that. Lions, Bills. Yeah,
I'm gonna roll Vikings.
Vikings.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say we get our revenge.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everything kind of plays off the way I want. I want Washington in the second round, just so it's a home game. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Green Bay is going to upset Philly, so Green Bay is going to go to Detroit.
Yeah.
I think we get at Tampa Bay.
Wow.
And I think we find a way to shut down Baker Mayfield, and we go to Detroit and take the NFC
and win
from them.
Wow.
So,
what a game that would be, man.
And we get a battle of those 4 teams in the Super Bowl. So,
man.
It does seem like that was the consensus with some of the people we talked to.
Yeah.
That's the matchup they want to see. I don't know if you're just trying to placate, be nice to me. By the way, you're about to win yet another pick against me, as the Cavaliers just went up by 7 with 27.
I think this could be a NBA Finals preview.
It really could.
It could, yeah.
If the city of Boston ceases to exist.
I know, really.
It could be. I'm still going Celtics.
Yeah.
This ain't changing my opinion.
Not changing?
Cavs might end up being the...
We're so upset.
You might end up with the best record in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're going for it at this point.
They're trying. With 4 losses down, though, it's like...
Well, they'll have a 2-game lead on the Thunder for it.
Yeah.
So, and I do think that, the West is a little bit tougher, so I think Oklahoma City is going to come up with some more losses.
Yeah.
What's Boston's record? How many games up are you on Boston?
We're actually a couple, I think, to be honest.
That's key. If you want a shot, if you do want a shot at knocking them off, you got to get the number 1 seed. We're 5 games ahead of them right now. Yeah, find a way to get the home court.
I think we can, and if we do, we're so hungry for Boston because of the way they beat us the last 2 years. I want them actually. Like it feels like if it's at home, yeah, like the first 2 games, and then you go there, of course, and whatever. But yeah, that'd be huge. Huge.
So I think we talked about we're either going to come back Wednesday night or Thursday night. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Sports-wise, what the calendar looks like, maybe that can help sway us.
Yeah.
One way or the other, if there's any big college basketball. Michigan, big road win last night.
Oh, huge.
UCLA.
What a stand-up from our center. What a game for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name right now, but...
Vlad Gold.
Yeah, Vlad. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Gold went off the Area 51. Is their nickname because Gold was number 50. They can make some noise. I tell you what. And if it's any,
I think we're up there. Like we should be ranked right now too, which I think we will be. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm going to tell you something. This might just end up swaying us to come back on the air Thursday night. I was looking. Michigan actually plays against Minnesota on the Big Ten Network. But 7:30 TNT. This Cleveland Cavalier team at Oklahoma City.
No.
So maybe a week from now, we could do
That's cool.
Oklahoma City again.
Yeah.
So it could be something we can target. So
that could be interesting. Yeah.
So we're gonna go off the air now. It looks like the Cavs are gonna win.
Yes, let's go.
We'll watch it. If they blow this, we'll hurry up and get back on the air.
Yeah.
To get Tyler's reactions. But it does look like the Cavs are about to win. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm good. Everybody
great
enjoyed
show.
the semifinals.
Yeah, have a great football weekend.
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.
School Vikings. That's all I got.
Yes. All right, love you guys.